I would like to let my sister Melanin break down why she feel, being a black woman, that the black woman is not a god. Talk to us about that, my sister Melanin. Why you feel that way? Strongly about that.
Well, right. I just feel that the only reason why the black woman is not God is because the black woman is a mortal being that has a divine duty on this realm as well as her male counterpart, the black man. And I think when we start showing favoritism towards a gender or making God have a physical being, we're falling in alliance with unnatural behavior. And we're doing the reverse of Western world ideology when it comes to gender favoritism and oppressing another because one wants to supersede the other instead of work together in unity.
That's it? You don't want to go in a little deeper? You got
the
floor. You got the floor.
Okay. The one thing I want to say when it comes to Brother Young Pharaoh, it's really not a competition here because at his own admissions on the record, I'm his God. So whatever I state is divine law and he must submit and abide to. So if he is not committed, because if he don't listen to what I'm saying and whatever I say is divine law as being his God, he's committed sin against me and treachery towards his own superior. Young Pharaoh reduces God to a physical being, a female genitalia. In his case, I believe he has a conflict with immature ego versus mature masculinity versus black male divinity and authority. So I believe when men refer to black women as being God, I feel it's the impulse of guilt for failing himself, his woman, and his children. So if you feel the need that you have to boost the black woman because you have nothing better to offer her besides talk, I feel deep down inside that all women, and me representing being a woman, all we want and require from a man is protection, security, and love for, ourselves and our children. We don't need these high titles. Any woman that is willing to put the black man beneath her instead of at her side represents an egotistical woman that is involved in deviant behavior. As she is exhibiting emotional and hormonal imbalance. And this behavior is not even a part of femininity or its attributes because the top 5 feminine traits are nurturing, loving, receptivity, and, sharing. Ego or the feeling to be seen is a masculine trait. So with her wanting to be God is a display. So her wanting to be God is not even a feminine attribute. And I feel with any man that goes around promoting that the black woman is God is displaying his own selfish masculine ego, but using the concept and the platform that the black woman is God to be seen and to be acknowledged by their own peers, and maybe even so attracting the attention of the black woman. Also, I feel the term God is an open interpretation through someone's culture, study, personal perception, and life experience. That's my premise. Let me go get some water.
All right, my brother Pharaoh. You got the mic, my brother.
All right. First and foremost, I would like to say, peace, Black Queen. How you doing? And I am glad that you just touched upon a couple of points here because I get a chance to clear up that what you just said because I believe everybody makes those I would like to say misguided notions upon when we say the black woman is God. One of the points, before I even go into genetic proof, I'm going to prove spiritually and physically how the black woman is God. But before I go into that, I just want to touch upon what you said because it's important. You said that whatever you say is law because I'm speaking about me because notice again, you said a lot of black men say that the black woman is God and they're trying to use that to attract the attention of the black female. I would not go against you right there. We have a lot of people who are corrupt. So me personally, I'm gonna give it to you.
Wait. I'm sorry. One part. I'm not saying like using it as to attract a female, as in you want that type of like sexual attention or anything like that. When I say attract a female, you know, you could just use this like, you know, when men have a G, they could just come to us and be like, yo, you know, the black woman is God. So that's what I meant.
Right. Okay, Quinn. Right. So now another point you made where I have to touch on. You said what you say is law because the black woman is God. Well, it is a fact that even the black child as a female develops more maturely on an intellectual level than a boy. If you have a daughter and a son, we know not just through scientific research, but just through watching your children in your house, that the daughter learns faster than the child. We also know that the woman's intuition is a woman has a spiritual frequency which is in tune with the ratio of the earth, which is 8.7. The earth has a radio frequency of 8.7, and this gives the woman more reception, you can say. And this is why they say never go against a woman's intuition. So we understand that the woman actually fluctuates and functions at a higher intellectual capacity than a man and has a higher spiritual vibrancy than a man, which puts the woman in tune with the universe. So now, using this logic, when the black woman is in her purified state mentally, not just physically, but mentally, it would be wise to listen to her. So just to put what you said in your correct premise, do I let every one black woman dictate my life and tell me what I should be doing? Hell no, because every black woman ain't in their right mind, just like every black man ain't in their right mind.
But who are you to depict or decipher which black woman is God? That's not, you don't have that divine position. Only another woman can say if another woman is God. This is a discussion between the gods.
Now this is why
you're immortal.
Right, now this is why I clear this up. Because every black woman is God. But that don't mean every black woman know who they are. And this is why I believe this discussion we're about to have today is 100% healthy and needed. Because when you say I'm a mere mortal, you are speaking from this physical realm. We are not these bodies. So now it's like when you look at an atom has protons and electrons, masculine and feminine energy. You don't separate the atom because there's two different energies in there. You don't separate the body because it has two different arms. The left arm commutes negative energy. The right arm commutes positive energy. But it's one body. The male and the female are two different physical manifestations of the same thing. Together we make up an atom. So now we are getting confused by looking at reality through the Caucasian conception of it because he has no natural place in it. So now he separates the duality of the same thing. Up and down is just two different directions of the same the same thing, of a center point. A male and a female is just two different directions of the same center point. So now even this was brought to my attention earlier, and I want to present this information. When you look at a household, even using the English language, the Caucasian still admits the truth. We understand the Holy Trinity has been deemed by the Caucasian as the Father, the Holy Ghost, and the Son. Nowhere in that equation is a female presence. When we know, without going into another historical lesson, just keeping it simple, the Trinity is man, woman, and child, or woman, man, and child, to be in this correct order. But now, when you look at the English language and you even use the titles used by the European to describe your household, you have what? Mother, father, brother, sister. The last three letters of every one of those words is what? Her. Even when you say he or you say she, you have what? I mean, when you say she, it has what in it? He. The man is, even when you use the English language to describe a human entity, the female is always present. Even the Caucasian understands this because he understands that all humanity came from a female, including the black man. So when we say that the black woman is God, without using a Caucasian's interpretation of God being some spooky person in the sky or some all great individual that's supposed to levitate, without that and keeping it in the spectrum of reality, the black woman is the predecessor and is the reason for all life on this planet. Now, when it comes to God and the human form, the black woman is the only organic, And when I say organic, I mean natural. She is the only natural entity on the planet. Now, I know in people's heads, they're probably thinking, well, the black man is natural, right? To a certain point. The fact that the black woman lost 2.8% of her own chromosome, X chromosome, and was created into a Y chromosome, that would make the man a weaker version, his shell, this shell, I should say, these shells that our souls inhabit. The shell or the vehicle known as a black man is just a weaker version of the black female. So to give you an analogy, the black woman would be like a 2016 car and the black man would be like a 2015. They both new cars, but we know which one is the most valuable to be in. The black woman is the only entity on a planet that has not been genetically tampered with. Her chromosomes are perfect. All organs in her body operate. The black man does not use, we do not use our body 100%. We do not use our nipples to breastfeed. The black woman is the only entity on the planet that is 100% natural and has not been genetically tampered with. And the black woman has the biggest gene pool out of any other entity on the planet. She has the genes of everybody on the planet within her. And without making that distinction, without even going to science, we can understand that white people do not have the same genetic composition as us, but we understand that they were produced by us as well as every other race. So the black woman is responsible for genetically manifesting everybody on the planet, including a black man. And she is responsible for all human life, which will make her the creator of humanity, which would make her God. Now, that is in a humanoid form, but we understand that we are all interconnected to the universe. And we are all actually governed and connected by the solar planets. For example, certain planets govern different systems of our body, like the planet Mars governs the circulatory system. If the planet Mars was to shift a few degrees right now, everybody's blood circulation would become unbalanced. You have planets like for example, the sun. The sun governs our heartbeat, electrical magnetic impulses. The entire solar system is actually like okay, I'll give you an analogy to give you an understanding.
Wait. I'm sorry for cutting you off because you're saying a whole bunch of things that I would like to address.
All right, let's give us
if you don't mind, because I don't want to Okay. Now, I've been listening to everything you're saying, and it goes back into the black man and woman complementing each other. But then you want to go into trying to debunk that by saying isolating the woman and making her superior. So my problem lies is that I think you're I think you're coming with facts scientifically mixed with pseudo. And the reason why I say this is because if we know that all existence always from the beginning of time before man even formed came from the alpha and omega presence, then by default, if we are the manifestation of each of these essence, just that the woman is the physical being of the feminine energy and the man is the masculine, so that we had to coincide at the same exact time in order for proper and natural reproduction to take place. To say that the woman, I know I listened to what you had said before, I know you didn't state it this time, that the woman has some type of special gland to impregnate herself. So that is a characteristic within inside of her that is masculine. So that doesn't even make her a female. That makes her a hermaphrodite. So you're saying the first person that came into being was not a woman. If you're saying in the past all existed was just a female species, and what you can't classify it as a female, because logically that would make it a hermaphrodite. So the first being in existence that possessed the organs to bring forth life would have to have been a hermaphrodite and not specifically a female. Now, it might have had stronger traits or characteristics of a woman, but that still doesn't deem it as a woman. A hermaphrodite, unless they choose a title for themselves or their parent, they are classified with no gender, but of having both.
Okay, before y'all hold on, brother.
Go ahead, Si.
Before y'all go on, I would like for both of y'all to give the viewers out there an understanding of your definition of God. First, I would like Pharoah to give us his define God, Pharoah, and then I would like for Melanin and Sutek, because this is probably why y'all both are disagreeing, because y'all both are defining it your own way. Y'all have your own interpretation of it. So, Pharoah, what is a God to you? What do you mean when you say God?
God means G, generator, O, organizer, D, dispenser of all reality. God is the presence that controls the physical realm.
You breaking up, Pharoah. Pharoah, you breaking up bad.
All right, hold on. Let me fix this. All right, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. God is G-O-D, generator, organizer, dispenser of all reality. God is the presence or the consciousness, whatever word we want to use, which controls the physical realm. It is the creator and the determiner of what happens with anything that is in physical or material or tangible form. So now when we say God, when we say that the black woman is God, the black woman, when you ask me what is the black woman God, yes, the black woman is the generator, organizer, and dispenser of all reality. The black woman generated every humanoid entity on the planet through the organization of cellular and molecular structure and dispensed it from her womb. There is not one person on the planet, whether it be black man, black child, Chinese, Philippine, Jamaican, whatever nationality we want to use. There's mulatto, Caucasian. There is not one male or female humanoid or Neanderthal entity walking around on this planet today which did not come from the womb of a black woman. Even other black women through parthenogenesis were coming from the womb of a black woman. So when we say what is God, God is a generator, organizer, and dispenser of our reality. On this physical plane, when speaking in context of humanoid life, the black woman is God. And when we take it to a spiritual realm or an ethereal realm, we understand that even in Kemet, we know that the sun, they have a mythological story where they say the sun passes through Noon and comes out the womb. We know that the universe gave birth to the sun.
Pharaoh, you're not listening, man.
The sun.
You're not listening, Pharoah, because you're breaking up. The people can't hear you.
Hold on. All right, I'm good now?
You good now.
All right, I don't know what's going on with my signal. I'm about to move out this spot. All right, so now, getting back on point, we understand that even the sun was given birth. The sun has a mother, which is the universe. The sun came out of a womb. The universe exists predominantly in what we would call yang or female energy. Even inside the womb of a woman, even when you're pregnant with a man or a Y chromosome, for about the first 5 to 6 weeks, that Y chromosome is a female. It doesn't become a male or a Y chromosome or even convert to start processing itself in a male fashion until 5 to 6 weeks. Everything in nature starts off as a female. So now exiting the black woman being God from a humanoid perspective and taking it to a universal perspective, everything came from a female. When you look in the sky and you see stars, galaxy, the cosmos, whatever you want to look at, all of that came out of the womb of a universe. It was all birthed. Everything starts off in nature as a female. So now taking God out of, once again, a Caucasian's interpretation of, like when you say a superior being, I know that a female can't beat me. I know that probably 5 females together can't beat me. What it is we have to stop looking at it from an egotistical standpoint of, oh, the black woman is God, so she should create the laws and we should lay down. No, it's about putting things back in their proper perspective without nobody getting their feelings hurt because they had an incorrect identity for themselves. Do I feel inferior when I say the black woman is God? No. Do I feel superior when I say the black woman is God? No. I feel that I am putting the black woman back in her correct chronological order of existence, which puts me in my correct position, which allows me to operate fully and know what it is that I need to be doing as a man on this planet. So knowing that I come from the black woman and that she's God, that by unanimous decision makes me God too, because I am an extension of God herself, itself, the universe. It's like the sun. The sun doesn't get mad that it was birthed from the universe. It shines and it creates life. Only people in their egos or who have a misconception of the order in which life is supposed to go has a problem when someone says the black woman is God. When we say the black woman is God, we don't mean she should be floating around the sky and telling people, oh, you're going to hell and you're doing right. No, it means that the black woman is the oldest living entity on the planet, hands down, and is responsible for any living entity in humanoid or Neanderthal humanoid form, hands down, which means what? This should be our main asset of protection. This should be our main. It's like when you have something that's been passed down in your family for generations, it becomes an antique. It gains antiquity and you want to take care of it. And you be like, my great-great-grandmother gave me this house. Well, the black woman is our antique as the black race. And we don't take care of her. We don't polish her. We don't put her on the shelf. We don't show her off. We don't do nothing. And we treat her crazy. Why? Because white supremacy. Why? Because as I just even showed in the English language, the white man knows that everybody comes from the black man. And white supremacy will never be destroyed until the black woman reaccepts her position. And that is why she is the main attack. The black man is not being attacked by the white woman as we think. We are just we might go to jail, we might get killed, but the black woman is the main one under mental attack. The black woman is being taught self-hate as a child from the Barbie doll she plays with, the things she watches on TV, growing up in the white man come take the father out the home, whether it be jail or whatever trap he has set in his system, and the black woman is being isolated from not just mother, but the child. And she is under attack.
All right, my brother Pharoah, I want to give my sister Melanin the mic right quick, because you said a lot. I hope you've been writing down something, Melanin.
I've been jotting down notes because it just seems like it's the cycle of...
Being that you heard our young God, the young Pharaoh definition of God, would you now say that you are a God according to his definition?
The only reason why I would call myself a God, because I consider myself to be God, and I don't consider the black woman to be God. I am my own personal God, because that falls into what I believe in my spiritual system and perception on life. So yes, am I a God? Because I appointed myself to that position. Do I say the black woman is God? No, I do not. I take care of me. I manifest things into the physical realm. I make things move. I change and in control of my domain in reality. I cannot control nobody else's. So I've been listening to the brother, and it just sounds like him just rephrasing what he already had stated. My whole thing is when we get into creation itself, it expresses both male and female aspects in the macrocosm as well as the microcosm, okay? All things that exist will express both of these attributes, male and female, since the beginning of time. I can't stress this long enough to keep going into what supersedes what. Then you have to go back and beyond before we physically exist. You have to ask yourself, now are we debating which energy came first? Did the omega or the alpha essence come first? Then we got to break that down first. And when the physical existence came into existence, I'm curious to know, are we only saying the Homo sapiens sapien in the past was just female? Or are we talking about all species that existed at the same time as man was all female? Because you can't say one species was just all female and everybody else was man and female. Or what about even in the plant? Hello?
I'm here. We here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, even in the science of botany, was it just all female plants too? So my curiosity lies, when did the masculine energy incarnate in the physical realm itself? You see what I'm saying? Because you can't just say it was just the Homo sapiens sapiens. You got to bring everything in existence into question now. Because I think what the problem is, we have to understand that when it comes to God, it is us mortals, us humans and mankind, that assigns gender and identity to God. The source we know is the entity. But when it comes to God, we give it a female identity or a male identity. Okay, we're assigning genitalia.
Okay.
And I think when it comes to the creation of God, whether it's a male or female, it's driven by ego for a woman or man to want to feel more superior than they are. And outside of spookism and an illusion in La La Land, we have to understand and come back down into reality that man dies and rots away and returns back to the earth as fertilizer for new life to come into existence. Now, I can't prove or disprove what happens after death or what the afterlife means. No one can, because it's just a theory. But I personally believe that the spirit returns back to the force. That's my personal theory. And even when you look at things from the microcosm and the macrocosm, the microcosm represents the female, which is the hidden, the quiet, the invisible, And the macrocosm represents the male, the obvious, the loud, the visual. So once again, my premise is, since the beginning of time, if we all can understand basic science, that nothing can't exist without the masculine and female, how can we make just the female superior? And then in the same breath, you say you come from her, and then you are as equal as her, but then she's superior. So I feel like when he talks, he's just constantly contradicting himself. It's either it's one God or it's two gods. And if it's two gods, then it has to represent the Holy Trinity, which is man, woman, and child. So I don't know. Sometimes when you speak, it's a bunch of confusion.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity to ask him a question, Sister Melanin.
Okay. Let me go on my list of questions that I had. Okay. My question to you was, like I said earlier, throughout time, okay, you said in the past, women only existed, right? The Homo sapiens sapien woman, the black woman only existed. Does this apply to other species as well, that it was only a female-dominated planet?
When I make that statement in regards to the black woman. So when you ask me, so I can make sure I'm answering your question clear so that you can be satisfied with a response. If you asking me, when you say were there other species, if you're asking me like were there only fish dogs or were there only fish monkeys or whatever, me personally, we know that the black woman predates even these animals. So as far as the chronological order in which these animals came into existence, we know that some animals are not even natural, and we would have to go into a build upon extraterrestrials for me to even explain that further. So now, without staying there, because we know a lot of people are not ready for that, for me to give you a full answer, I would have to tell you, when I make this statement, I am staying solely on the black woman when I say that at one point in time, the only humanoid or Homo sapiens sapien, as you want to use the term, existed in the physical form as a black woman alone, period.
Mm-hmm. You understand, Melanin? You satisfied with that answer?
No. I'm listening to him, but he's just, I think he's deflecting from the question, because you can't get into a study of studying life and existence and not studying the environment and the surrounding of the female species. It's making it seem like she was the only person that was here. There has to be more text to.
Now let me. Because
you said you don't know. So if you don't know.
No. I said that we know that the black woman predates a good majority of animals that are on the planet today. So now when people try to use science to say, we came from this or we came from that. How? When we older than that, what you trying to say we came from? So now just to keep a clear understanding of what we're saying, because you can say that we have to study the surroundings of the black woman, but then we can't use entities that were not even in those surroundings at the time when the black woman was here alone. So we have a lot of people, because my brain, if I'm not, I don't like to guess, but if I know where this is going, we are eventually going to end up somehow saying we came from some form of animal. And if that's not it, then I apologize for my mistake in this assumption. But if it is it, I would like to say that we predate a lot of animals on this planet. So it is impossible for us to come from these animals. And just to touch on what you said earlier, when you said which energies came first, I would like to say your name is Melanin. So now, assuming that you took on the name Melanin, I would like to assume, whether this is true or not, that you understand the molecular formula of melanin. And if not, I would like to tell you, the molecular formula of melanin is carbon 18, hydrogen 10, nitrogen 2, and oxygen 4. When you read it, it will say C18, H10, N2O4. Why am I bringing this up? Because all of those chemical elements are on a periodic elements table. Why is that important? Because chemical elements on a periodic elements table are created by the sun. Why is that important even more? Because the sun, if it didn't exist, there would be no chemical elements in order to comprise this physical matter. So now what you're saying is melanin is created by the sun, which is you only giving part the truth, because now we have to go deeper. Well, what created the sun? We know from scientific observation right now through telescopes and other technology, we can actually see a sun being born. So now we have to ask ourselves, is melanin melanin only existed in this compound or this sequence of chemical formulas, or is there a different type of melanin which actually exists to give birth to the sun? Because we know that the universe gives birth to the sun, and we know that without the sun, there will be no, everything has structure. So when we look at once again, when we bring it back to the black woman, which is such as yourself, you are just a physical manifestation of the primordial waters. Me, myself as a black man, I am the physical manifestation of the sun. And when we have a relationship, we create what? A solar system. Atoms reflect this relationship. Polygamous relationships reflect this relationship. And the universe itself reflects this relationship. And nothing can escape mathematical sequence. So when we go now, coming back to the origin of creation, when the Caucasian get to talking about, oh, we came from this, and we came from that, and we came from that, we understand that the white man will never, ever, ever tell you the truth. Ever. It's not in a favor of white supremacy. So now, if he can murder or attempt to murder murderers, who we would call people who die for justice on the battlefield, for telling you the truth, you think he's going to willingly tell you the truth in the textbook that he may put in middle school, college, university, wherever program or institution of education that he has? No, he's not going to tell you the truth. He would rather tell you that we come from monkeys. But it's just using common sense. Like I said, the black woman is the only is the only humanoid entity who has not been manipulated or conquered or influenced genetically at all on the planet. She is still perfect. So now, even if we get to dealing with animals, or you were getting ready to say, I'm not assuming that you were saying.
Wait, okay, let's take a pause.
We know that she has no derivatives from any animal.
Brother.
Hold on for a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. First and foremost, he did not answer the question. My question was simple and plain. All I said was, at the time where he alleges only black women existed on the planet, what I'm asking him, was it an all-female species planet? This is beyond the Homo sapien woman. What I'm saying, was it only lionesses? Was it only cows and no bulls? What I'm saying is that you can't say only the Homo sapien woman was a woman, but her environment around her was diverse and male and female. That's what I'm asking. I'm not telling him to tell me if he was from primates, what melanin meant. I'm simply asking him, was it only the Homo sapien woman that was a woman, while other species had man and woman? And then you claim that she is perfect, but then in the same breath, you said we degenerated in order to make man. And we can no longer impregnate ourselves. So no, we're no longer, we are no longer perfect. We lost our divinity that made us stand out, and we evolved. And that's where you're saying the black man came into existence, which means you're professing that you are the first form of a birth defect. Are you not?
To a certain extent, but I would like to elaborate. I would like to elaborate on what you said, because actually there is an article which was just published. Let me think. Let me go in my brain. It was just published by Discovery Magazine, I want to say, on June 15, 2007, where scientists actually took sperm out of a woman's bone marrow and impregnated her, and she gave birth to another female, which will prove parthenogenesis, as I've been saying. So now when you say that y'all lost the ability, you haven't lost the ability. You just are not in the correct circumstances, which will influence and invoke this ability once again. And when we say, to answer your question, because I want you to have a satisfied answer, if not, I will continue to give you answers until you get a satisfied one which you feel is acceptable. When you say, were there other male and female species on the planet, I feel like that's an open question that I can't just say yes to, because I would have to ask you to pick a specific species, because we understand once again that half of these animals on the planet today were not there then. So now we would have to ask. I would prefer you say, were there male and female of this, or was there male and female of that? But
so how about this? How about we just say, I don't know. We can learn how to keep things simple. We don't have to be complex. So what you're basically saying in a nutshell is, melanin, outside of me studying The black woman being in existence and only in existence in the past, I cannot speak for other species, only being female species. All right, so let me go on to the next question. All right, so I wanted to ask you this. When you touched on the woman being perfect, throughout time, the black woman has degenerated, correct? So how is she still God, and why would God make herself powerless or less powerful? Is the current black woman in 2016 still God, or is she a demigod, or is she just a mortal?
Yeah. Oh, you want me to answer that right now?
Oh no, answer it tomorrow. Yes, right now.
Hey, I got you. I'm about to answer the hell out of that. First and foremost, Queen, what we have to understand is the involvement, once again, of extraterrestrial. The black woman did not degenerate, never. You have what you call genetic manipulation or gene splicing, which the Caucasian does every day in front of our face. We know that he takes people's stem cells and clones them. We know that he plays with animals and creates animals. We know that he plays with people's genes every day. So it's not hard for us to mentally fathom that you can manipulate somebody genetically. So now when it came to the black woman is not degenerate, defective. The black woman's X chromosome was subtracted from itself 2.8% of itself in order to create a Y chromosome. And we know that through science, which genetics proves that when a woman is pregnant with the baby, whatever baby she has, whether it's a Y or X chromosome, aka boy or girl, she actually becomes influenced by the genes and DNA of that baby through her placenta. So the reason that the black woman is constantly being re-influenced with the Y chromosome is because once the initial defect was created, years ago in time, in the past, every time a black woman gets pregnant by a Y chromosome, the Y chromosome re-enters the DNA sequence of the female through the placenta, reinstalling that chromosome in her again to give birth. If every black man was to die on the planet right now, the black woman will be able to impregnate herself by assimilating sperm out of her bone marrow and impregnating herself. You do not even need a man to continue on life right now. We are just making procreation easier as being what you would call, in your words, the balance or playing our role. But right now, science is still proving that you technically don't need us to carry on life. As one point in time, you did not need us then. We are creations for, I don't want to go off topic and get to talk about extraterrestrials, so I'm going to keep it simple. We were created by the influence of certain entities. But to say that the black woman lost her powers to go even deeper, we also understand that due to our current position within the solar system, which we are 15,102 years around the zodiac sign, which is, we are now 18 years away from the Aquarian age. At that time, we were at a certain point in the galaxy, which the vibrations of certain celestial bodies put our chakras and kundalini energy at a certain point in our body, which gave us certain abilities that we cannot harness now because we are no longer in that section of the galaxy. So now that we're coming into the Aquarian age, these frequencies are actually unlocking DNA codons, which are giving black people certain aspects and capacities of ourselves that were not available to us because we were not here. So now applying this back to the black woman, the black woman never degenerated. She was, her chromosome was influenced by extraterrestrials to create black men. And then for two, depending on what part of the solar system the galaxy we are in, will determine what abilities you will be able to use due to the vibrations and the prominences being emitted by solar bodies for you to access and manifest on this realm. So the black woman never lost her stride.
Hey, baby. All right.
Okay. Wow. And I only say wow is because the contradiction within what he is saying. He's saying that we didn't devolve, but yet we did. But then man came into existence because we made him, but then no extraterrestrials came down that we had sex with aliens and Anunnakis, or I didn't know.
I didn't say we had sex.
So I'm confused on how you're talking about the creation of man. How did the black man come into existence? Is it because we produced him because we devolved, or, and you said an outside force, an alien extraterrestrial came down and had sex with us. And was that extraterrestrial
I didn't say
alien man? Was he penetrated?
I didn't say penetrated. I said genetic manipulation. If I take a piece of
so what was the procedure for that
blood,
if it wasn't intercourse?
Because you never, Queen, listen.
I mean, I never seen the alien, so please explain. You said
you know, all right, I'm gonna keep it
and manipulated our DNA.
I'm gonna keep it on a level that you can understand. Today, the Caucasian makes fruits without growing them. He don't plant seeds. He creates GMOs. He grows them. We understand that the Caucasian is actually cloning people today. Test tube babies. We understand that you can inseminate and impregnate any female species on the planet without physical penetration. All it takes is intelligence and some type of knowledge on how to apply genetics to get the desired result. You don't have to stick your penis and everything.
All right. So let me ask you this. You're saying the black man came into existence in an unnatural manner, correct? So if you are unnatural, right, how are you able through your semen to impregnate black women?
Because I am from you.
Silence.
I am from you, Queen. I am you. We still share. Listen, I am yours.
You just said you were genetically modified. So how are you saying that me? If I came from Earth and you're a mixture of me and some extraterrestrial or genetic manipulation, we are not the same. No. We're not going to run that deal over here.
When you take 2.8% of the X chromosome from itself, it creates a Y chromosome. I didn't say it mixed chromosomes. I didn't say I had sex with an alien, none of that. All I said that the Y chromosome is just a weaker version of itself, which is the X chromosome. So we are still the same.
No, we're not. Because if you're saying I'm just
a weaker version of you. I am a genetically weaker version of you. We are still compatible.
So if you're just weaker but still compatible, I'm sorry, but that just makes no sense on how the creation of the black man came about, whether it's genetically modifying, whether we devolved, whether aliens came down and did some chromosome slicing. What I'm saying is that if the woman is organic and you're not organic, we have to figure out that either we was the same from the get-go or the black woman had to be modified in a way in order to reproduce with you, which is a degenerate, which is a birth defect to the planet.
Listen, Queen.
I am listening.
Your brain, you go away left field. It's a simple understanding.
No, you left field. I'm in the out.
Queen, the Y chromosome is scientifically proven to be an X chromosome, which is minus 2.8% of its own mass, as well as this is why the X chromosome is 5 times larger than the Y chromosome. This is why a man has an X and a Y chromosome and the female has an XX. Even in the genetic structure and composition of the chromosome of a man, we still possess an X chromosome, which is you. We came from you. It's not hard to understand why me and you can still reproduce because I am from you. I am a weaker genetically manifested version of you. It's not like you saying, how can a shark impregnate a black woman? No. How can a black man impregnate a black woman? Because he is just a genetically weaker version of himself, which is the black woman. You have womb man, woman and man, womb man. I am the man. I am the offspring of the womb man. I am you. I'm just a genetically weaker version of you. That's it. It's not crazy to comprehend. It's not like, how can we still produce? The semen that I use to impregnate a black woman is the same semen that you have in your bone marrow to impregnate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So why reproduce with man if this is an ability that we can do within ourselves? Because you said if the man was no longer in existence, the woman would snap right back into natural order of reproducing asexually. So my question is, with the black people being in the deficit that we are, right? And the black man's being murdered, becoming effeminate, homosexual, being incarcerated, why isn't the woman going back into natural order to produce more soldiers? Because we're lacking
more soldiers in regards to more black men to help fight?
Exactly. Because you're saying if you didn't exist tomorrow, correct? Right now, when it comes to the black community, the masculine presence is obsolete, correct? So shouldn't God reproduce a stronger breed of men if we're not getting it from men? Shouldn't we go back within ourselves to create a stronger man so we can have a fortress around us and our children?
Okay, now let me answer this question. The black man has 100% all the tools he needs to not only protect but provide and retake over this planet. The only thing that is stopping black men from doing what we were created to do, which is protect and hold this planet down for a certain amount of time, is white supremacy through religion and miseducation. The black man no longer has the understanding of who he is or where he comes from. Therefore, his mission is no longer the same. So we are strong enough to carry out our duty. It's just, why aren't we carrying it out? Because we no longer mentally have the knowledge of ourselves from where we come, not only genetically, but even through education. We don't understand why we were put here or where we come from, and we no longer fight for what it is we need to be fighting for. So, as well as to say, when you said, why don't God put a stronger man here? Now we're going back into the Caucasians' interpretation that there's somebody in the sky that's just watching over us, and why don't they come down and do something? So once again, we still applying the Caucasian ideology of God to our situation. We are the gods. We are the one who need to make the change. And that is why it is important, and that is why I teach that the black woman is God, because once you reprogram that into the melanated man's mentality, it unlocks certain information in his DNA that automatically makes him want to provide for and fight for any woman in his life, be a wife, mother, grandmother, sister, daughter, niece, female cousin, etc. So the fact that we don't look at y'all as the root of where we came from is the reason that we are still oppressed as a people, because we don't know what to fight for. It's like if I'm a bodyguard and I don't know who I'm bodyguarding, then I have no purpose. I will never carry out my mission. But if I know, okay, this is the president and I'm Secret Service, now I know how to perform my duty. If I'm a black man and I don't know that I came from the black woman and that the black woman is my predecessor, then I actually, truthfully, don't know how to be a black man. So now everything I learn about how I should operate is coming from Western civilization, a Caucasian. Even the ideologies of who it is that I should be praying to, meditating to, whatever it is people like to do. That all my entire reality is being generated, organized, and dispensed by a Caucasian, an entity that has not even been here for more than 7,000 years. So the black man must come back into his true origins and what he must be doing by putting the black woman back in her proper place. Because once things are in their proper place, everything runs the way it's supposed to be. But when anything is out of place, it doesn't run correctly. Until the black man understands the role that the black woman has played on the planet Earth, we will never know truly how to not only treat you, but how to perform our duties as a black man. And coming back to the question, once again, this planet is being ran by extraterrestrials. So we would have to delve back into, when you say, if you were to ask me why was the black man created and you want me to answer that for you, you would have to be willing to hear about extraterrestrials, whether you believe in them or not. The planet is being ran by extraterrestrials right now.
Okay. So, okay, wait, no, I have a question for him. Oh, okay.
Hold on, Melanin. By the young brother saying that the black woman is a god, my sister Melanin, don't you see the benefits of that? Especially through the young men. If you have a young brother teaching young black boys that this black woman that you're disrespecting, that you calling a bitch, that you calling a hoe, that you calling a slut, she is the foundation of your total being, of your life. She is God. Do you see the benefits in that in the young people now, respecting the young women on the scene?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but when it comes to a man being raised up to respect the woman, all you have to simply imply prior before we got into these titles is that when you look at every woman as she represents your mother, she represents your sister, and she represents your daughter. Nothing can get more deeper than that without using these high titles.
But see, Melanin, I know you know.
No. Because back in the day, they didn't have to call me God to show or to demonstrate respect. You just gotta love me, be on my side, be on my team. That's all we need.
If that was true, what you just said, then our race would not be in the predicament that we in now. Because you got black men right now who disrespect their girls, but would never disrespect their mother. Why?
Because they don't have a father.
No, that's not why. Just that.
Yes, because they're raised.
I didn't have a father. And I respect the hell out of all black women, including you. So,
but you just said that the black woman is God, correct?
Yes, she is generator, organizer, and dispenser of all humanity. Yes.
Now, hold on, y'all.
So if we're going to talk about the amount of disrespect that comes from our brothers, we have to bring into play the absence of the masculine energy. The reason why the black community is in its deficit is not because we lack feminine energy. We have an abundance of that. What we're lacking is masculinity. We all have to go through a rites of passage, which we lost through colonialization, being raped, robbed, and brainwashed. And these are things that a father has to instill into his son and lead by example on how to treat a woman. You don't have, it's a lot of these dudes in the conscious community, black God is this, black God is that, and mingling while in a relationship talking to other women on the scene. So let's not talk about it. Let's be about it. You can call me God. You can call me Queen. You can give me all the high titles that you want. But let's move beyond talking and let's act. I'd rather a black man express that he see me as God instead of talking.
Right, but then you would have to apply that to the personal black man that you are dealing with, and then that would be, I don't want to say a problem, but it would be an issue that you would have to come to terms with whoever or whatever black man that you may choose to deal with. But in the terms of building a nation, I think that it is healthy that we install it in the minds of all black male children that the black woman is their primary source and their primary or their number one objective of who they should be caring and loving. Why? Because it's all you said we need masculine energy. This forces you to be a man. Why? Because if you look at your black woman and you say, I'm going to curse real fast. If you look at your black woman and you say, this my bitch, this my girl, that does not evoke masculine energy. That says that, okay, I can treat her according to this title, which is I can be lazy with her when I want. I cannot provide when I want because the way that I value her mentally is not as high. So my physical expression towards her won't be high. But if I say this is God, then I'm going to break my neck to be who I need to be for her. This will force me to invoke my masculine energy. It's like right now, Queen, if you were, okay, I'm going to put you in a scenario. If you was getting, let's say you was getting beat up by a white police, the average black man is just going to pull his phone out and record because to him, you are not God. To him, you are just some female or some B word or some black queen that is getting harassed and that's not right and they want to go to CNN. If I'm walking up the street, I'm going to beat the shit out that police for you and get shot for you because you are God. Are you superior or are you some mystical, magical being in the sky? No. I know that you are the cause for my physical existence, and I will put my physical existence on the line to make sure that you have the most peaceful physical existence that you can. So once again, keeping this in order, the black woman being God is not about making our men soft. It's about making our men tough. It's about saying, motherfucker, the black woman is God and you don't take care of your kids, you ain't shit. That's not your bitch. That's not your girl. That's not your hoe. That's not your lady. That's not even your black queen. Nigga, that's your God. That is the generator, organizer, and dispenser of all physical reality that she's going to create for you. So now, it forces us to act. It forces us because it puts our minds back in a proper perspective where it needs to be. If you look at black people since we have been suffering from, I don't care how far back in history you want to go in regards to our interactions with the Caucasian. Every time the Caucasian has got over on us, he has first used religion or some form of mental construct to make us worship not only our spiritual or universal creator differently, but look at our women differently. He has tricked us into sharing his mentality towards our people with him. Share our ancient mentality towards ourselves, which is putting our black women back on a pedestal. We won't put ourselves back on the pedestal. So when I say the black woman is God, it is not to say that, oh, I'm gonna be gay and act like a female. No, this is to say that I'm a man and I'm gonna start doing what a man needs to do for his woman. So now we need not let the action of whether they be young, old, child, whatever type of men who have been perverted or incorrect towards the female negate the fact that they had an incorrect mentality towards the female in the first place. Because I'm going to go out on a limb right here and say this. And whether it happens, I'll welcomely be wrong. But I have never seen Sarah Sutek disrespect a black woman. If he has, I haven't seen it. I've never seen Polite disrespect a black woman. And what do us all three have in common? Whether our teachings are the same or not, we all put the black woman on a pedestal. But then when you want to look at rappers and people who do disrespect the black woman, I bet you don't none of them will ever come out their mouth and say the black woman is God. If not, they have to throw their whole album in the garbage. So,
all right, so let me ask you this, brother. All right. You just named yourself Polite and Seti. Out of the two, the one that I see that truly worships God is Polite because he's married to God. He has an economic platform to supply whatever his God needs. He's serving his God. Where is your divine God? Are you married?
Okay, now I would like to say that.
Why is there a lot of brothers that are unwed, but there's plenty of gods to be hit?
Okay, now let me break this down. Let me answer that. I'm gonna answer that in three portions for you, and I'm gonna touch economics as far as serving my God because I need to expound on that. For one, I would like to say I'm not 30-something years old like Polite. I'm 22. No, I'm not married, but I am faithful with the God that I am with. And for two, when you say Polite has economics and he's serving his God, you are still using a Caucasian ideology on how you should be treated because Christians go to church and pay tithes and serve their pastor to serve their God. So are you saying that if Polite didn't have money or the Caucasian never created an economic system, there would be no way for Polite to serve his woman? I'm pretty sure he loves his woman. If every bank in the world right now blow up, he would still serve his woman physically and mentally, emotionally.
Brother,
so now what you're saying is,
brother,
right?
Providing is a masculine trait that has nothing to do with white supremacy.
So do you think
being able to hold his own, his woman, and his child, that is what a man's supposed to do. This has nothing to see. We use white supremacy for a damn punch on everything. If a man wants to be a man, you step up to the plate. And before you even court a woman, you're supposed to have your stuff together. And I'm not judging you from a European perspective because I understand what you're up against. I understand that we are at war. But you can't just come to the black woman, to your God, with just talk and feel good. This is feel good church.
All right, now let me answer this question. If you applying to me, I don't come to my black woman with talk. Oh, we have a roof over our head, and if you want to deal with economy, I'm in a 2015. So if you want to say how we providing, and it's flat screens in my house, and I don't sell drugs, and I generate my own currency. I don't use anybody's money. I don't tell anybody to buy shit from me. I generate and I provide for my queen. Just like the sun shines out on his earth, I shine out on my earth. But now outside of that, I don't think that it's fair for you to say that it's about providing because we know that, like I just said in the video I made, I'm going to say it right now. Economics is nothing more than a cute way to say kidnap and ransom. Why? Because when you kidnap somebody, you're taking them and everybody knows that you have taken this person from their location. And ransom is, I'll give you back this person for a certain amount of money. We know that the Caucasian has forced his way on the land of melanated people, kidnapped our natural resources, and told us if we don't join his economy and pay him back for our natural resources, then we cannot eat. So economics is nothing more than kidnap and ransom. So if you want your black man to provide for you through economics, then you want him to also participate in the kidnap and ransom of his own natural resources. So once again, when we say provide for the black woman, let us speak solely on a physical, mental, and spiritual construct first before we go to economics. Now, am I saying don't get a job and do what you have to do for your family? No. But all I'm saying is know what you are actually participating in is the destruction of your own planet. The fact that you have to go to work and submit to the white man and then give him back the same money that he just paid you in order to eat, that is kidnap and robbery. Why? Because he kidnapped your land, told you if you come over here to pick an apple, I'm gonna take your ass to jail. But you can go to work for me for a certain amount of hours and buy this apple back. That is kidnap and ransom. Economics is nothing more than kidnap and ransom. So now it's actually disrespectful for a black person to actually have a job or have to participate in economics when we had all of the shit that we have today at one point in time for free. So now, when it comes back to the primary means of supplying for your black person, for your black queen, I understand that I must be righteous. So I understand that before I contribute to the destruction of my black civilization by selling drugs or being destructive, I'll submit myself to the economy, and I'd rather provide and put a roof over our head by that way until black people stop being pussy and we turn up and liberate ourselves. But until our race as a whole do that, I'll be righteous and submit myself to the economy. But I don't think that I should be judged primarily by what I can provide for you when the whole system which is set up for me to provide for you is actually disrespectful and kidnap in a humanitarian crime on me and you. So you saying it's about what you have to step up to the table and be able to present certain type of provisions for the black woman when the whole way that you have to provide for the black woman is unnatural and destructive to your planet. In order for you to live, you have to actually give your life. That is crazy. So now, if I'm a hard-working black man who works triples and doubles, and I got my wife living lavish, not you, queen, but to the average black woman, they feel like, oh, my man, he provides for me. You don't understand that you're submitting to a system which has taken from you, and I have to give hours and hours out of my day that I could be spending to myself to give back to you something which was naturally free but was taken from us. And we too scared to get some heart and go take that shit back. So now we try to use the excuse of go to college and get a good job and provide. When really it should just be, give me back my fucking farmland or bust your gun, because this is my shit. So when we dealing with economics, once again, I don't think that the black man should be held to a standard of how much he can provide on a financial tip in regards to the love of the black woman, because money is only 1,000 years old, and economics is nothing more than a Caucasian disguising his kidnap and ransom on the black race and our planet, and we accept it because we accept money. When you no longer accept money, then you see that bullshit for what it is. So now, determining what I think that the black woman should standardize her black man for, I think that yes, since we are in the headlock of the economy, that we must use it to our advantage. But I think outside of that, the black woman should take into consideration the intelligence and the righteousness of the black man, not his wallet, not if he can put you in a mansion. Because if he's willing to literally give his life to you and die for you and take care of the children that you give him, I don't think it should matter if the motherfucker can buy you a boat. Because if that's the case, then we really melanated natural beings, let's go cut down a tree and make a motherfucking boat. So I don't think that economics should be a vice that determines how or determines a capacity that makes the black man a black man in the eyes of the black woman. Now, we're not saying be bummy and be on the street. But what we're saying is we know that economics is not in our favor. So let's stop holding each other by that. It's like Jordans. When you go to school, I don't think that a motherfucker with Skechers on is a less of a person than a motherfucker with Jordans on, because both of these shits are Caucasian creations. So I don't think that the black woman should be able to say you're a better man than him because you put more money in his house and more food on the table than him, because all that shit is a Caucasian creation. I think the black man should be gauged upon his nature, which is how intelligent he is and how righteous he is and how much he physically, spiritually, and mentally cultivates you and his household. So that is what makes a black man a provider for a black woman. Not how much he is, not how knee deep or neck deep he is in the Caucasian's economy, which is raping and pillaging your land and got us fucked up in the first place.
All right.
All right. No, I heard what the brother had to say. I let him have the platform. But I think what he does is he misconstrued the question at hand. Now, I'm not sitting here stating that solely based the black man on being a man according to his economics. What I'm saying is that there are different components a woman is supposed to consider while she's being courted by a man. Because ain't no man of a daughter, Sonetta, is going to sit here and let your daughter bring home a man that has nothing but spirituality to offer for her. you're going to be like, my nigga, get the fuck out of here. So let's be real. Sometimes we like to go off into a false reality of stuff that sound good. And I don't like how he dips in reality and then he goes somewhere else into the cosmos. What I'm saying is that I understand exactly and everything that you're saying. But until we become a sovereign nation, okay, we have to work and survive within this society, within this construct, within this system. So when it comes to judging a man, I have to, first of all, we don't even have a culture because your culture is the head of the household and how we're supposed to conduct ourselves, both male and female. So I have to look at your society to evaluate or at least equate or use some of what I learned through my life experience on what is the best man. Because each and every woman on the planet, all female species want the alpha male in society. Now, that doesn't make her a degenerate. That's her maternal instinct for survival and protection for her children. So if you have a brother that has a mansion and a Rolls Royce, chances are sister's going to be more attracted to him because he's in a position to provide and to protect because money talks and bullshit walks.
No,
so don't sit here.
I gotta jump in right
I'm
there.
not saying that you're not supposed to judge them according to his character. What I'm saying is each and every aspect of a man, it has to be balanced. Because the one thing that we're getting a lot from this conscious community is a bunch of broke dudes offering nothing but feel-good talk. And this is reality, brother. I understand exactly what you're saying. I understand that the room are trying to box me in and say I'm being materialistic. That's far from it. But as a woman that is fertile, that is going to bring forth life, it is her job because the woman is in charge of reproduction. We are supposed to sit back and we are supposed to choose the best qualified male. And in every aspect of his being, he is supposed to be balanced. This has nothing to do with white supremacy. Right, we keep leaning on white supremacy as a crutch when this is about power. When you study power, that's what the white man studies. He studied power. This is not white supremacy. This is how we perceive it because we're losing and we're at the goddamn bottom. And we make all excuses. We make many excuses on why to stay at the bottom instead of building ourselves up on what's needed to be done. And the reality is both parts need to step up their game when it comes to finances, when it comes to mentally, spiritually, and health-wise.
Right, okay, now, Queen, I got a question for you. Go ahead, Ty. Go ahead, Ty.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
My sister Melanin, you said one of the problems in this conscious community is most of the dudes are broke and they just talk. Now, I want to know, who are you talking about in the conscious community that are broke? Because what happens is...
I'm not talking about no panelists. I'm just talking about...
No, panelists. What I'm saying is, what we do is we attach everybody to the conscious community. So what is the conscious community? Let's start there.
Okay, the conscious community, I suppose, is those who allege they are part of this fictional community. Whoever comes to all the, I guess you could say, pro-black events. So I sit back and I analyze my peers. I socialize, I move around, and I listen, and I talk to a lot of people.
Well, guess what, sister?
And especially I socialize with a lot of sisters. And there's a lot of complaint from sisters that when they come here to get a spiritually elevated man, that all they can offer is talk. Because they either just getting out of jail, they living with their mama, they in the homeless shelter. So what I'm saying is that, okay.
Now, you know, that's funny to me. That's funny to me because I've been in this community for a long time. And I have never heard a sister come up to me and say nothing like that. Now, one more thing is, a lot of the brothers that I know that's in the movement, that's in the conscious community, they working. They got money. They got jobs. They go to work damn near every day. They are the ones that come in and fill up the seats and support. So when you say the broke, I don't know what you mean. You probably talking about the Hebrew Israelites.
No, I'm not stereotyping.
Hold on, because a lot of people that I know that's in the conscious community, they either working or they got jobs where they work for themselves. You see? So I don't know where the broke ones you talking about. Y'all probably hanging out with the wrong crowd or something.
All right, let me say this. Queen, I would never disrespect you ever in my life. So I'm not going to say nothing out of bounds because unlike you may see black women, like I said, I see the black woman as God, so I'm going to still respect you. But I will say 70% to 85% of what people say is actually coming out of their subconscious, so they don't consciously know what they say. And I'm saying it to prove the point I'm going to move. To prove, I would have to question your consciousness because you said that most conscious brothers I know are broke. And before that, you said that females want an alpha male, so they're more prone to go with the men with the car in the house. Now, what your subconscious is telling me is that you have actually been enslaved by currency, and you seek comfortability and salvation and liberation through the financial dollar. Now, let me keep going on so I can prove my point. You also said that we must become a sovereign nation. So now you have been fooled by white supremacy, which you think you may have not, but I'm going to prove it, Queen. Because you can be sovereign all you want. These motherfuckers will drop a bomb on your land and you'll be dead. You can have all the money you want. They print the money out so you'll never have more money than them. So it is an illusion to think that an affidavit or a dollar can liberate you. Now, when you say you want an alpha male, the real alpha male is ready to get some blood on his hands. Now, I'm not saying go air some shit out because I already know how these crackers do. I've seen what they did with the queen that said overseas is another cracker. So I learned from our queen's mistakes. I'm not going to say that, but I will say this. Do you want a man who want to open up a bank, or you want a nigga that want to run up into the Vatican on a pope? Because the nigga that's ready to run up on a pope is the nigga that's going to liberate you. The motherfucker that's going to work his life to death and accumulate money to make you comfortable is just going to enslave you and make you dependent upon that comfortable state as well as your children. So it's two types of black men. And then you said, I got to come back to the point. You said most conscious men are broke. Well, that would make sense, even if it is true, because money is unnatural. So if you're conscious, you go back to nature. So it would only be natural that conscious people don't value money. And most unconscious people are rich. If you look at rappers, Hollywood, sports, most people who are unconscious, they're rich. If you look at conscious people, such as tribes in the jungle, Buddhist monks, or black people who are not willing to sell their souls or degrade themselves for money and are not being accepted into this economy by by white people, we're not rich. Now, we might not be broke, but we ain't rich, or we might not have the physical money to make the change, and then when we do get that money, we get killed. Why? To prove my point. Sovereignty and money will never liberate you. So now to put shit back in perspective, the man that I'm not even going to say that you're looking for. I'm not going to go that far. The man that would be a liberator through money will always be your slave because black people have had money in this country forever. Don't think. You got motherfuckers like Oprah, Jay-Z, P. Diddy, and their asses on lockdown by these secret societies. If they ever try to help their people, they're going to get their head knocked off. Why? Because they became so deep in unconsciousness that when they finally got conscious, they realized it was too motherfucking late. So money ain't going to save us. Sovereignty ain't going to save us. Only thing that's going to save us is us. When we get ready to love ourselves and die for ourselves, then this shit gonna change. Until then, you can go to work, you can get a job, you can sell drugs, you can win the lotto, you can become a sovereign, you can keep going to court, pushing these paperwork, all that shit. It ain't gonna help. Until you say, fuck that, I'm not doing it, what y'all motherfuckers wanna do, let's get it popping, we're not gonna be liberated. So now I would have to ask you, what kind of man do you want in your house? You want a man who can provide for you wealthfully? Or you want a motherfucker that's going to say, baby, let's run up in the motherfucking Pentagon. Fuck that. So what kind of black man do you want? Because our ancestors, if they were to come back out of it, if Shaka Zulu could come back today, he would be in the motherfucking Pentagon. He wouldn't be at work clocking in. But if one of them house jumping slave niggas came back today, he wouldn't be in the Pentagon. He would be at work. So now we know which one of them had knowledge of self and which one didn't. The one who has knowledge of self is willing to die for his black woman because the black woman is the furtherer of his race. So our liberation only comes through that type of black man. I myself am one of those type of black men. So speaking from personal understanding and fire that burns in me every day with these motherfucking crackers, if you say you want a masculine black man, the motherfucker with the money ain't the one you want. It's probably probably the nigga in jail that got 10 years and found out who the fuck he was. It's probably the nigga on the street who been struggling all his life and read a couple books and activated his soul, but he don't got the money to be accepted by the program society, so he's overlooked. It's not the motherfucker on TV that's gonna save you. It's the motherfucker in the world somewhere that we don't even know exists that's ready to die for us. So we have to understand where our liberation is actually coming from and where that masculine energy is at. It's not in providing financially. It's in turning the fuck up. That's where it's at.
Okay, you asked me.
Hold on, fam.
Okay.
I know y'all hear that music. You hear the music. Break time. All right, family. Y'all hear it. This is the time now to call in. Ask these two great panelists a question. My sister Melanin Sutek and my brother Pharoah. You can ask them the question. Melanin, you want to say something before I open up the floor for questions?
Yes, no, I wanted to answer his question on what type of man, that I want or sisters desire. And like I said, what I stated in what I said earlier, I simply said what makes a great black man is a man that is balanced in all aspects that he needs to be in order to be a father, a husband, and a husband and a provider. So a lot of people are sitting here because you're long-winded, going left with the subject matter. Now there is open for interpretation on now people are trying to imply that I'm telling sisters to be a gold digger. What I'm telling you is to be smart and to choose wisely, because a man that's fired up and ready to go to war, after he runs and takes down the white man by himself, which will probably get shot dead before he can even get there, then you're going to be a single parent. Then you're going to have to do the struggling. So it's not that I don't like the fire. If you don't listen, correct. But what I'm saying is that you don't literally put yourself in a position to watch your counterpart put himself in a suicide mission. This is a suicide mission. Now, if this was the majority of black men talking about it, then I can see sisters saying, pushing forth for y'all to take physical action. But why would we nitpick and sacrifice the good brothers that we have to tell them, yeah, just go run out there and go kill the white man? You have to go up against an army. And all you have is the heart, please. You have the heart. And that's the first thing you need. But the next thing you need is military strategy, and you need an army. Have you finished, Becca?
All right, hold on.
I'm not going. All right, so let's not talk about killing.
We ain't gonna say shit like that on recording. We ain't gonna say shit like that on recording. But you fucking know what it is.
All right, time out.
You confess it or not, you're not doing that.
All right, time out, family.
You don't know what I've done.
Hold on.
No, you're correct. I don't.
Hold on, everybody.
But a lot of people who talk like that don't.
Relax, family. It's all right. Before we bring on our first guest, I want to first say that I agree with Sister Melanin 100% when she's talking about these brothers out there making these babies, and there's nothing wrong with being financially stable to take care of your baby. There's nothing wrong with the brothers out there working and making money so that you can buy some goddamn diapers to change your baby dirty ass diapers. You need money to do that. You need money to get your milk and get your food. So I agree with Melanie. I don't want no nigga or negro just coming in my house with his spirituality and ain't got nothing to do to provide and help my daughter, his woman, his wife. You got to be able to take care, man. I've been taking care of my daughter for goddamn 12 years now, 15 years now. So, believe me, you're going to have to do as much as I am doing for my baby right now, because she's living a lifestyle where daddy is always providing. When she need money, she come to daddy. And that's the way it's supposed to be with our brothers. Take care of your woman. Take care of your wife. You got to have something. I don't want just no damn spirituality. Make sure you are able to take care of my baby financially as well. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying you got to have a whole fucking stack of money. Just be able to provide for my baby. That's all I'm saying. That's all. Now, with the first caller.
I agree.
Peace and black power. What's your name and where you calling from, family?
Peace. This is Vic Sharp from Detroit, Michigan.
All right, what's up, my brother? What's your question, fam?
My question would be, how can you be equal to God? So if we saying, well, the black woman is God, well, how can man ever equal or be equal to God? Because it's under my understanding, if we're talking about Mayat, we're talking about balance. When you talk about noon is a masculine energy. It's not a feminine energy. Nunette is a feminine energy. So when I look at these studies, because I also study science too, and I look up articles, and you talk about they pull sperm out of the bone marrow. Well, that was genetically modified. They did that genetically on their own, which means what they did was use like GMOs. They pulled out the bone marrow and they used stem cells and made those stem cells turn into sperm. Likewise, they did the same thing with males and made it turn into an ovum. And then when you trace in DNA, they trace DNA most of the time through mitochondria, which is a separate organism by itself with its own DNA from human beings. So my question is, how can you be equal to God? How can you say that woman predates man when data is inconclusive and they say that the Y chromosome is just as old as the X?
So who you saying that? Who the question goes to, Brother Pharoah?
That goes to Brother Pharoah because what I'm saying is the science is on both sides, not just one. And it seems like when people quote science or they quote articles, they don't quote all that shit. They only quote parts of the article that they want to, prove their argument.
Okay, Brother Pharoah, answer the question, brother.
First, I want to say thank you, brother, for the correction on far as noon and noonette. Like I tell people, I have no problem being corrected. I'm glad that you corrected me. Now I have that information, so I want to thank you for that. For two, I have the correct pronunciation of the word. For two, when we talk about they and we say what they saying, we have to deal with who they are. Now, we understand the white man does not tell the whole truth, so we have to use our own we have to be our own detectives. Now, like I said, nothing can escape mathematics. And when we deal with science, regardless if the white man says the Y chromosome is just as old as the X chromosome or not, mathematics proves that it is not. How? Because not only is it smaller, and it's smaller, and through mathematical premises, we can the density of an X chromosome, but through anthropology, which the Caucasian emits, like you said, mitochondrial DNA, he emits through genetics that everybody's mitochondrial DNA comes from the mitochondria Eve in Africa, but through anthropology, he admits that the oldest black woman found, according to him, is 3.2 million to 4 million years old. 3.6 million to 4 million years old in Ethiopia. And he also admits that the oldest black man ever found is 3.2 million years old. So being that we have no conclusive extra bones that we have found personally and going off the data being provided through anthropology, there is a 400,000 minimum year gap between the physical existence of the black man and black woman through physical structure. And then this is backed up by genetics because we know that the Y chromosome comes from the X chromosome. So putting two and two together, damn, if science and genetics proves that the Y chromosome is an offspring of the X chromosome, and anthropology proves that a black man was found a minimum of 400,000 years after a black woman, then logically we can conclude that the black woman was here by herself. And then through parthenogenesis, which science will also confirm, that the black woman created sperm in her bone marrow and through her Bartholin gland, which is two pea-sized glands in the underneath the first layer of the skin of her vagina. Through her Bartholin gland, she secreted the semen through her Bartholin duct and impregnated herself. We can take these three conclusions and factually come to the understanding that she was impregnating herself and here by herself for a minimum of 400,000 years. It's the same way today of female vaginas get moist. All you have to do is imagine that there was sperm in there and she would be pregnant. And like you said, scientists today pulled out sperm from a woman's bone marrow and regenerated a child. So we understand that there is sperm inside of the black woman's bone marrow. So we understand that parthenogenesis is not a lie. Now, whether certain DNA codons are activated today due to our celestial position, our position amongst the celestial body. A time on the planet when the black woman was alone and she could impregnate herself.
All right. Okay. Peace and black power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Hanifa, and I'm calling from Richmond, Virginia.
Yes. What's happening? What's your name, sis?
I'm Hanifa. You hear me?
Oh, Kanifa. Okay, Kanifa. What's your question, sis?
Well, I don't have a question. I was calling more so about the statement that they were having about, I guess, the expectations of the black man role and providing and stuff like that. I agree with both parties. Like you said, nobody want an extra conscious man without money. But at the same time, what the sister failed to realize is the part that she has to play is to cultivate and motivate at least a man with a vision. And Brother Polite's situation is putting a lot of heat on the conscious relationships, because I hear a lot of women, even here in Richmond, Virginia, talk about how they want a man to do them the way that Polite does his wives and his wife. But the portion they forget to realize that Brother Polite said was Amanette went hard in the paint at the beginning before she can now reap the benefits of Brother Polite. She worked 2 or 3 jobs, gave up her checks for this man who only had a vision before he had the money to take her to Paris. And I didn't hear that woman speak up at all about what she would do to cultivate her man and what work is she willing to put in to build up a man who might only have a vision at first.
Okay, so the question is geared towards me. I have absolutely no problem being courted by a brother who has a vision and a plan and needs assistance. I'm not knocking that. What I'm saying is, in general, as a woman, we supposed to make sure that any man that is courting us, we supposed to evaluate him from head to toe. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying disregard a brother because he's lacking in something. We all are lacking in many different areas. But what I'm saying is that we have to pick and choose, where we're able to fit in our compatibility. Some women don't have the will to do all that, or they just want a man that's already set. So what I'm saying is that you have to evaluate yourself and what you can do and what you can bring to the table and how can you support your man. Some women aren't able to handle that. So what I'm saying is that you cannot be a man feeling that you can reap the benefits of having intercourse with a woman, but all you have to give to her is talk. Now, it's brothers out here who may have plans, dreams, and goals, but before you can motivate him, he has to be a self-starter, because no woman wants a man that is childlike. And we're so used to pampering our men that our men aren't being men. They're being mama's boys.
I would agree. So doing
it's about balance. People are misunderstood what I'm saying.
So during the evaluation process, because you was like, a man has to have it. I don't want to say what you said, but what I got from what you said was that a man has to have it together. Now, during the evaluation process, I would agree that we need to evaluate if he is a talker and it's in his vision. Is this something that we can make come to life? Because I want to go back to when Brother Polite talked about when he first started with Amanette. He could have been perceived as a man with just talk. He could have been just perceived as a man, like he said, he didn't want to put frontage in his projects because he knew they weren't going to stay there. So outsiders could have came in and saw, damn, y'all living with roaches, but never understood the vision that he had in his mind now where Amanette can chill and reap these benefits. Sometimes you have to go through dark times in order to see. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't all materialistic push, because sometimes you have to take a man where he at, and you have to do your part as a woman, not to pacify him or babysit a lost situation. But if there's a spark in a young man like young Pharoah, he's 22 years old, and if a woman was to catch him where he's at, and who also can match his fire and build him up, you can get a Polite situation. But Polite situation didn't start like that. And that's the part I wanted to say.
And you're absolutely right, but we don't know the specific details of their relationship and how they met and how they started off.
He let it be known he came from
Yes, I listened to his story and how much he did try to praise his sister Amunette. Now, she's definitely a God. I admire her. I love her. She's a brilliant sister.
And she put in work for the man. She put in work for those trips to the London Tower.
Yes, and that's what
she
invested in him, because I'm pretty sure prior, before she started doing that, she saw the will and the fire in her man to do so.
So that's
he never said that. Whenever I heard Polite speak, he was always on the go, hustling, getting his money up. Then there was a time when he stopped hustling. He said that Amunet started giving him the money because he was like, he was going to find a way out of no way to reinvest her money. So Polite, from what I heard, he's always been grinding from a young age. So when she met him, he was a go-getter.
Check this out, family. My sister, did you see the new video I just threw up with Brother Polite?
I'm not sure. Tell me what it was about. I checked out a few videos.
Okay, it's on Solid Letter Studios. You need to go and see that. And that's what he's talking about, what we're having this discussion on right now. It's called Brother Polite Message to Little Black Boys. You got to go and see that. It's on this channel right here. All you got to do is go to it. It's powerful. Okay.
All right, I'm going to check it out. Thank y'all.
Thank you for calling.
Have a blessed evening.
All right, let's get the next caller.
Check this out.
Peace and Black Power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. This is Brother Abdul from North New Jersey.
Brother Abdul, what's happening, man?
Hey, man, I just wanted to, make a little quick statement and ask the Brother Young Pharoah a question.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I wanted to say that I like what the sister Melanin is saying, our queen. She brings a lot of powerful information. I don't agree with everything, but most of the things she's saying is right and exact, in my opinion. Young Pharoah, he's dropping the science. You know what I'm saying? He's a young, brilliant individual. I think when he goes into the ethers and the cosmos and talking about, the different entities and things like that, he loses a lot of people. But I want to let young Pharoah know that I'm not lost, and I understand what he's talking about. I just have a different perspective on those things. Now, the question is the black woman God. I think it's nonsense, Sonetta. How could the black woman or the black man be God? Black men lie. Black men sit on the toilet to take a shit. Black women bleed 5 days a month and die and all this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? So no man or woman is God. That's just a bunch of feel-good nonsense, that type of teaching. Now, what I want to ask young Pharoah is, what is his concept of the higher power that created the universe and everything in it?
All right. Go ahead, Brother Pharoah.
Peace, brother. How you doing, first and foremost?
Peace, family. Peace.
Now, my concept is not a religious concept, obviously. My concept, to give it to you relatable, is, because I have to give you the structure on how my thought process plays out so that you can see where I'm coming from. I deal with everything in layer sequence. So, think of it like a cake. You got the bottom layer, the middle layer, and the top. With me, it goes physical bottom, spiritual middle, and then mental top. Even the soul, which is a piece of the sun, solar energy, is governed by a mind, which the first level of the sun's electromagnetic spectrum is radio waves, and radio waves, by definition, are just sound frequencies which are being transmitted. So we understand that even the sun is being spoken into existence by an intelligent, omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient presence. So when you ask me what is God, God is that presence that is speaking all of these suns and stars into existence, including us. And the souls, solar energy, are just our individual extensions of that presence taking place within these physical shells in order to experience the physical realm, in order to gain certain spiritual information and evolutions, in order to return back to our higher self, which is the initial creator that I explained. So now, giving you that information, if you ask me what God is what is behind the scenes of what you think you are actually observing. So it's like God is the mind, if you want to say that. God, when I say consciousness, I don't want people to go like, oh, con means the trick and that. So we just so we have a foundation on what I'm saying consciousness is, bro. God is the awareness that is creating everything that we are experiencing, and it is that which we are individual parts of. Like when you look up in this universe and you see the blackness, a lot of people say they pay so much attention to the stars and the galaxies and the Milky Way that they ignore the fact that all of that is coming from the blackness. But then we have to ask ourselves, what consciousness even put that blackness there? That is God. That is what I pinpoint as God. That level of intelligence which is actually creating and constantly creating while holding all physical life and matter that you see together, whether it be an atom, a bee, some water, some juice, me, you, the black woman, a planet, a galaxy, a star, a comet, a meteorite, a chemical, all of these physical things come from that blackness, which is just the first representation of this consciousness. So once again, so that I give you a clear understanding, my understanding of God will just be the supreme consciousness which backs and governs anything physical. And when we talk about the black woman, we know that the black woman is organic, she is natural, and she is the physical manifestation of that consciousness in humanoid form first. Before there was a black man, before there was a Chinese man, before there was a white man, before there was a Spanish man, there was a black woman who is organic and still perfect.
Go ahead, Pharoah. Now,
Okay, Pharoah.
Wait. Let me ask the caller on the line.
Yeah.
Now, when you asked him a simple question about what is God, didn't he just express many interpretations?
No, I feel like Pharoah, almost basically kind of contradicted himself a little bit.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying.
Yes, Sister Melanin. What he described as God is not no black woman.
Everybody just hype.
No. I told you.
No, you just interpreted.
I told you, no. Before I gave my explanation, I told you. Listen, before.
I'm going to give you the credit.
I'm sorry. I just want to
Yeah, you did say that the black woman is the physical manifestation of that. So I want to give you credit on that.
I'm about to say thank you.
You did.
I'm about to say, right.
But
right.
it's interesting. It's interesting what you talk about, Pharoah. But it seems like, man, you just like belittling the black man, like what Sister Melanin was touching on, like the black man is a degenerate and all this and that. Like, how can that be when the black man is the original man? You don't believe that, brother?
Now let me answer your question. We are the original man because we are the first man on the planet. But it is also a fact that before there was man, there was woman. So it's an egotistical, it's like, okay, if you think you can fight, then you feel comfortable. But if Bruce Lee walk in the room, then you get scared. Why? Because the truth sets in that, oh shit, I really can't fight. Why? Because we haven't trained ourselves to prepare for that type of physical experience. So when it comes to the black man, our information is outdated. So when I say the black woman is God or was here first, we never prepared ourselves to accept this truth, so we become insecure. But if you was able to fight like Bruce Lee, you wouldn't give a fuck if Bruce Lee walked in the room. If you understood who you were and possessed that supreme intelligence, you wouldn't give a fuck if I say the black woman is God. Because your ego wouldn't be scared. Because your soul would know that I am the supreme deity, which is an extension of this supreme deity. So it's all about ego. I can't bash a black man by lifting a black woman. That is insane. By me uplifting a black woman, I'm downplaying the black man. That's like saying because I'm telling my mom I love her, I'm telling myself I hate me. I am my mother. I am my black woman.
Pharoah, but check this out. If you say the black man is a degenerate.
Abdul, hold on.
Okay.
You asked Pharoah, you said, man, the black man is the original man. Don't you know that?
That's right.
You said that.
I know that.
Now,
I know the black man is the original man.
Hold on. What I'm saying is, my brother Abdul is the one that don't know that. Because if he knew
what you talking about, son?
if you knew that, you wouldn't be walking around talking about you's a Muslim. If you knew
Come
that
on,
the black man was the original man.
And look, where did the original man come from? Where did the black man come from?
The black woman.
Where did the black woman come from?
The universe.
Where did the universe come from?
The consciousness, which I just told you, I conceptualize as God. Generator, organizer, dispenser of all reality. Whatever that entity or omnipresent is God.
Okay, so why are you niggas talking about the black woman as God?
Because the black woman is the physical, because she's the physical manifestation of that. When the first humanoid ever, listen, what I just told you, the sun is actually being created by a sound frequency of voice. And the sun creates atoms through ionization, which creates elements which actually swirl together and grind together, just like when you put food in a blender and it blends together. Elements blend together and create planets. And the first humanoid on the planet was a woman. And this is not a coincidence. This is done by intelligent architectural metaphysical design. So whenever that consciousness said, I want to create a sun, which is going to create a solar system, which is going to create a planet Earth, which is going to create a black humanoid entity, that humanoid entity was a black woman. So when that consciousness thought to itself, I want to create a vehicle in order to project a soul into the experience, the physical realm, that initial vehicle was a black woman. So the black woman is literally a thought which is spoken into existence through the sun, which creates the physical realm, which in that physical realm created a melanated entity, and that entity was a black woman. The black woman is the physical manifestation of the creator, period.
Okay, now check this out, Pharoah. How could the black woman be a physical manifestation of the Most High Creator when she bleeding 5 days a month? She's lying. You understand what I'm saying? She died, this and that. She gets sick and all this kind of stuff. How could the women be the physical? I'm saying, if God wanted to physically manifest himself in this physical...
You saying him.
Woman.
Because you saying him, brother. You saying if God wanted to manifest himself, which means you already have a European ideology and conception that God is a man.
I'm just not a man. I don't believe God is a man. I'm just using him to denote power and masculinity, man, and power. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying God is a man.
Your conception,
huh?
Right, brother. I hear what you're saying, and I don't want you to think that we're not on the same accord. But I would have to say that due to Sinetta stating that you're a Muslim, I'm not having anything against Muslim, but I would have to say that you already coming with a preconceived notion of what power is through an incorrect vice. Right. Power is not saying, oh, I'm going to bust your motherfucking head and I'm a man. And then by you praying to, I know, I'm just saying, you saying, why did God choose a female? Because the female is the most in tune creation with nature. When we deal with nature, nature is a nurturer. Okay, the black woman is a nurturer. Nature it bears fruit and it takes care of all life on it. The black woman bears fruit, aka children, and she mothers and takes care of them until they return back to the planet that they came from. So the black woman's vehicle would only be logically correct to use in accordance which was created before her, which is the planet Earth that she would thrive on. That's why you don't use a man.
Hold on, y'all.
What about a female elephant, a female ape, a female monkey, a female roach, a female cat? They all do the same shit. I don't, come on, brother.
But they're not. But you know what they don't do?
What's that?
They don't think on an intelligent level or process information at the capacity of the black woman. And it's funny that we have been so colonized mentally and spiritually by the Caucasian that we are now reaching for animals or lower entities to compare ourselves to in retrospect to the black woman. Because no disrespect, brother, but if I was on this phone talking about a man or talking about Allah or Muhammad like that, you would not have these questions. But since I'm saying, damn, a black woman is this and a black woman is that, it is in disagreement with what it is that you may have come to believe, and that is where the confusion comes in. If we just study common sense, I think that we should create a subject called common sense. If we just study simple sciences, whether it be genetic or whether it be astrological, because I have studied the sun and its electromagnetic spectrums thoroughly. So that's what I do. So I don't try to step in people's lane. I know that is subject that you will probably run circles in me in. I'm not stepping there. But when it comes to astrology and the sun and its electromagnetic spectrums and frequencies and chakras and how they interact and metaphysical standpoints, that's what I do all day. So we understand that even science confirms that the sun is actually being operated by a voice. And we know that anything that speaks has intelligence. Right, and we know that... Right. Go ahead, brother.
All right, my brother Abdul, I'm going to have to let you go now. We got a lot of callers calling in.
Oh, I apologize, brother. Peace, y'all be good.
Peace, brother.
All right, yeah, hold on. We're trying to get some more callers in here. Let's see what's up. All right, they ain't calling in. My sister Melanin, you got anything?
Oh no, I was just listening to the caller.
Hold on. Peace and Black Power. What's your name and where you calling from?
Interview.
What's your name and where you calling from? Peace and Black Power. What's your name and where you calling from?
Oh, hello.
How you doing?
Hi, my name is Lovely. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
Yes, what's happening?
Yeah, this is a question for young Pharoah.
Okay.
I just have a question. Now, why is it a problem when we say the black woman is God, but when we say the black man is God, it wasn't a problem?
That's a good question. And I'm going to tell you something. I had that written down right here on my tablet. I was going to ask the young brother that. But go ahead, sister.
Yeah, because I remember when not too long ago, I started into the conscious community, people used to say the black man is God. Nobody had a problem with that. Right. But when we say the black woman is God, now it's like, oh, no. Even the sisters have a problem with that. But we already knew in Africa, we was more matriarchic than patriotic. So is it like it's still a slave mentality that we still have?
Yes, it is. Because, this white man, this European teaching has been so embedded inside of our psychic that we still see, when we close our eyes, we still see the image of a European God, So, yeah. But I'm going to let my brother Pharoah answer that because you asked him.
Okay.
Peace, Black Queen. First and foremost, how you doing?
I'm fine. You?
I'm great. Okay, now I'm so glad you asked me this question because Netta just said a little bit and you said a little bit of what I'm getting ready to say. It's the systems. We understand that the Caucasian admits that he runs a patrilineal system because he calls himself a patriot. We understand that we were matrilineal in Africa. So we understand that I'm not to hurt some people's feelings, but they are still mentally Caucasians. But because we have to understand, Black Queen, is that the body is a vehicle. And like any vehicle, guess what you're susceptible to? Hijacking. The Caucasian has literally hijacked the spirit and the mental construct and paradigm of the African melanated being and has infected it with the virus of spirituality according to the Caucasian's concept. So the Caucasian gave us a white man. We didn't accept that, so we turned it to a black man. And now, when we put it back in its proper perspective as a woman, which it was before it was even a white man, we can't fathom it because we have become so egotistically attached to the teachings of the white man, we don't want to let them go. Why? Because little do people want to say it. I'm going to say it. We have grown to love the white man more than we have grown to love our woman. You see it every day. People say money over bitches. Bitches ain't shit. Oh, I got my car. You love the white man and what he provides to you more than you love your black woman. And you love the white man and his teaching so much that when I teach what our ancestors taught, that the black woman is the supreme deity on the planet, you are literally ready to go to war with me. Why? Because the white man told you that she's not. So that's the only reason. There is no excuse. There is no side reason. It's because these motherfuckers love the white man and his lies so much that their spirits are willing to fight for this motherfucker lie to stay alive. Just like a slave. Slaves love the master so much that when you revolt, they fight you. These motherfuckers love the spiritual lies of the white man so much that when we revolt back to the truth, they fight us. And they fight the very source which they came from, which is the female, even though they live on a planet which is a giant ass female. So that's how lost these motherfuckers is.
No, I'll agree.
All right, that's it, my sister?
That's all. One more question. I just wanted to say something that the sister has said about money and all that. Yeah. I've been in a relationship with my man for 10 years now. And when I met him, he didn't have nothing. He didn't have 2 nickels to rub together. But I see something beyond that. And I think as black women, we have to understand that we are the #1 race that is the most single. And we cannot be picking all type of dudes that have money. We have to be realistic that a lot of times the system is against our brothers. And we have to help them and lift them up. But right now he's making good money.
That's not what my sister is saying.
I am not saying that. People are misinterpreting everything that I'm saying.
Yeah, so. That's not what she's saying.
I wasn't saying that. Like, I said it plain, but I don't know how it goes over people's heads.
Okay. I probably understood it wrong. Okay, cool.
All right.
That's about it.
Thank you, sister, for calling.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Powerful. Peace and Black Power family. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Black Boy 424, calling from Orlando. Down in the bottom of the map.
You said Black Boys?
Yeah, it's just an online handle. It ain't that deep, trust me.
Okay, it is deep. That's called us a boy. So we want to get rid of that as soon as you can, my brother. Try to get rid of that boy title on the back of you. Because that white man called us a boy. So go ahead, talk to us anyway, brother.
All right, I just want to speak. It's a question for Pharaoh. I do want to applaud the sister for speaking up on behalf, and she's not, the whole financial thing has been on 1,000 times. She just wants a well-balanced person. Question for young Pharoah, hopefully he can hear me, is are you familiar with the God of the Gap theory? Just a quick, I know you're long-winded, just a quick yes or no.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so the God of the Gap theory is pretty much a concept where when science stops, right, people fill in unknown and foreign concepts, and those concepts normally being God or deities or things that operate outside of the supernatural. And it appears as though you agree with science up until the point where it stops agreeing with you. As the caller mentioned earlier, with your research and women impregnating themselves, and he said, well, Pharaoh, they genetically modified what they did. You then, in turn, in your response to him, said, oh, well, that's not the whole truth, and they don't tell the whole story. So, you agreed up until the point where he stated you were incorrect, and then you no longer agree. The same thing with your claims about aliens and supernatural beings and the sun being a voice wave. Science does not claim any of those things. So the God of the Gap theory says when science stops, well, we can just say God did it. But what an actual scientist or a person that really wants to acquire that knowledge would know if he would develop a hypothesis, go and test that hypothesis and try to draw some conclusions. It's a point where science stops. But I don't want you or anyone else to be as ignorant to the fact that when we don't have an explicit answer for something, we can't just automatically substitute God, right? Because once you start speaking of this dark black energy floating around and consciousness being energy and we are outside light bodies, that's the same thing the Muslims say with Muhammad, the same thing Christians will say with Jesus, right? These supernatural things happen and water in the wine, right? Science just doesn't explain it, but you can't invalidate their beliefs and validate your own because you guys are standing on the same thing. You're just making it up, right? Because no one else has said any of that. So I just want to mention the God of the Gap theory and also, some of the claims you're making. And earlier you mentioned as well is Shaka Zulu, right, was around and he was a real black person or a real liberator. He would run up in the building. So if you are in turn comparing yourself to Shaka Zulu, why haven't you ran up in the Pentagon and did all of the exact same things? And the same reason as to why you'll say that you have not done it, it's the same reason that everyone else will use. That's a black person that's trying to be conscious and do the right thing. So your excuse will be their excuse. So go ahead and explain to us why you have decided not to run up in the Pentagon and do exactly what Shaka Zulu did.
All right, now I'm going to answer both of your questions. For one, you don't know what the fuck I have done to white people, and I'm not going to state none of that on here because we understand that white people and black people who love white people are on here. So I think that would be unintelligent for me to put my personal life out there. But if you want to come spend 24 hours with me, then you can. I will offer you that. Now, outside of that, you're saying that I'm making this up. Science actually proves everything I said, and I'm gonna answer both your questions about you said it doesn't prove what I'm saying, and you saying that I don't agree with science where it stops at what I'm saying. So now, as you yes or no question me, I'm gonna yes or no question you. Have you ever heard of electronic voice phenomena?
Just with the word phenomenon in it, I can almost assure that it was a task or not validated or peer reviewed by the scientific community, but I have not, so no.
Okay, brother. Electronic voice phenomena, without me being Brother Longwind, is basically the use of technology in order to measure electromagnetic frequency intervals and calculate what they are saying through voice language. So, wait, hold on. Can you still hear me?
I can.
Okay.
I want to, for everyone listening, electronic voice phenomena is within ghost hunting and
right. I'm finna answer you.
Hunting ghosts. So go ahead and.
I'm finna answer your question. Now you said that spirits are not real and da 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 da. And what I'm saying about spirits before I break down where we talking about God, I'm gonna break down spirits. Spirits have been proven to actually be real and speak through EVP, electronic voice phenomena. Now, when we go to science, and you said that science doesn't prove anything I'm saying, science proves exactly what I'm saying. Not only through EVP proves that there are entities that are not physical but can communicate with you through electromagnetic frequency. We understand that the sun's electromagnetic spectrum, before the sun was a physical ball of burning gas or fire, whatever you want to call it, it was nothing more than a radio wave. And what is a radio wave? A sound frequency which transmits.
The sun was
yes, it was. The sun started off.
No scientists anywhere will agree that the sun is.
Go look. Listen. Go pull up electromagnetic spectrum. Go pull it up on Google and look at and what's the first level? It don't say radio. Yes or no? It say radio or no?
The sun produces electromagnetic.
It say radio. It say radio.
I'm trying to the
radio, right? So now, it doesn't prove what I'm saying, but a lot of people read books and don't actually look up the definition of the book. We hear words and we assume that we know what they mean, but a lot of people don't say, oh, let me see the definition of radio, and use their own logic. The Caucasian is never, ever, ever, ever of the universe, and that you have the highest vibrancy. So when he doesn't say that to you, and you lack the ability to
All right, hold on, Pharoah.
Hello, this is Melinda from Atlanta.
Melinda from Atlanta. What you doing in Atlanta, Melinda?
What am I doing?
Yeah, what you got going on in Atlanta?
Nothing much. Just
well, you know your brother Sonetta I will be out there in Atlanta tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. I will be there tomorrow all the way up until Friday. Maybe we can meet up somewhere and get an interview in or something.
Oh, we're definitely going to have to do that. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Oh,
what is your specialty? What you talk about? What do you talk about?
I don't talk about anything. I'm just a watcher of the show who's been learning, and I've come to some of your events. I came to the African technology event when you came down here. What was that? A couple months ago.
Yes, I remember that. Did you introduce yourself to me? Did we meet? Did we
I did. We took a picture together.
Oh, hold on now. I'm trying to see which one. Yeah. Are you the sister with the long braids?
No, I'm the sister with I had the short bob and I had on a dress.
You had a little afro?
No.
Okay, I'm trying to see who you are.
This is
Okay, no problem, sister. Well, I'll be in, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'll be there tomorrow. I'm supposed to be interviewing, sister, what's my queen name? What's her name? The elder sister.
Marimba?
Yes, Marimba Ani. I'm supposed to be interviewing her and a few other people. Aruba Ben Wahad, brother Professor Griff. Maybe you can come on over and definitely we're going to be downstairs, the hotel room in the lobby, and it's going to be in the big room. So come on over if you can. I'll let you know the address as soon as I get there. Yes.
Okay. Which hotel you going to be at?
Now, this is my cell phone. You got my number. Just give me a call tomorrow about this time. It'll be good. I'll let you know exactly where we at.
Okay, perfect. I'll definitely stop by.
Do you have a question for the young brother Pharoah?
I don't have a question. I have more of a comment to the sister Melanin, you said. Is she still on the line?
No, she's hung up. She's not on the line now. But if you ask her, she might call right back in. Ask the question.
Well, it's not really a question. It's just a comment. I just wanted to say that I don't understand the problem with the brothers and everybody calling us God. You know what I'm saying? It's upliftment. So I don't understand why he has to go through all of the, scientific evidence and all of that. It's uplifting. So, and it's uplifting me as well, just by hearing, Brother Polite and Pharoah Sutek and Young Pharoah say that we're God. It has uplifted me so much. So just being called that, can do so much.
And I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, because I'm a dark skinned sister, so for me, it did a lot for me when I heard Polite say that. Because I've been tuning in for a year. So when he said that, all I've been called is black all my life.
Right.
So you know that. I mean, even when someone calls me queen, it's like it's a blessing. But to know that I was God, and to find out I never connected myself with Africa. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dark skinned. So to learn all of this, and when someone says that I'm God, for me, it just erected something out of me. I started homeschooling my children. I just started a business. I'm working on another business, and this is all just from, this knowledge that I'm learning. I'm not the smartest sister out there, but this is just from knowing that I'm God. You know what I'm saying?
Now, you know what?
So,
let me say, I agree with you 100% because when you look at all the brothers with the hip-hop stuff, our sisters been called bitches, hoes. Now you got a young brother, 22 years old, trying to put that back into the minds of other brothers his age or maybe younger. You know how important that is, sister? For these young men to finally get that. I want them to look up to my daughter as, oh, she's a god. She's a god. So, for any women or sister to fight a young brother on that right there, it says something to me, man. I don't know what's going on with that.
It does. And it's kind of hurtful,
you want to talk about that with the sister?
Yes. First and foremost, Black Queen, like I tell everybody, how you doing?
I'm good.
What it is fear. Black people are scared. Let me tell you something about being black. You can say you conscious all you want, but when you conscious, you understand who your enemy is. And what we understand what the enemy has done is self-hate. And black people have been installed mentally. Because remember, the brain is a biological computer, and just like a computer, you can install viruses on that motherfucker. So white supremacy is the mentally installed virus on us, our biological computer. We have so much person that's depressed.
Sister,
you know that they're...
Hold on, Pharoah. Sister Melanin is in the... she's here now. But go ahead, finish, Pharoah.
Right. So I think that what it is with black people, whether we say the black woman is God, whether you tell a black man pull his damn pants up, whether you tell your kids to educate themselves, whenever you tell the black person to do something positive, it has been installed in our minds and our hearts that we are so less than that we literally find an excuse not to do that because we have been made scared to become great again. We are scared to tell a white man, you are a fucking Neanderthal and you are walking on all fours and my ancestors taught you how to walk upright. We are scared. How do I know we scared? Look at the way we deal with white people now. Motherfuckers don't talk to their boss at work the way they talk to their man or talk to their woman. You don't tell your boss shut the fuck up. Your boss might make you do some shit you don't want to do and you humble your ass, but you will go home and battle your black counterpart. So we understand that we are scared to accept our greatness. So I don't think that it's just to say, like, you're not saying it, Queen, but I don't want to only hone in on when you tell a black woman she's God, why is it hard to accept? It's hard to accept anything positive when you a motherfucker who look at yourself negative all day. If I tell you how many black kids in school failing, and we tell them whether the work is a lie or not, we just gonna stay on the format. You tell them you're smart, go to school, and they be like, man, I don't know, man, this is how I live. Because they look at themselves so fucking negative, they can't even vision to accept what you're saying because they don't look at themselves in that light. So until black people stop looking at ourselves the way the oppressor looks at us, we ain't gonna accept shit positive, we say. You can tell them, motherfucker, all the day you want. Go to school, take care of your kids, the black woman is God, love yourself, your melanin is beautiful, and you got all these conscious sisters that be like, yeah, and have weave in their motherfucking head. You got all these black men that be like, yeah, and your motherfucking pants is off your ass. So it's like you still have to get the image out yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's not a herb that can do it. There's not a medicine that can do it. There's not a TV show. A white man ain't gonna write a book that can do it. Even if the president right now say, fuck America, we giving all this money back. This how detrimental the poison is to black people. When, not if, when the white man is gone off this planet, he will still live in these niggas' minds. When the white man gone, guess what black people still gonna do? Take their ass to church. They still gonna call each other bitch. They still gonna not take care of their kids. Why? Because the white man lives in your motherfucking ass. So we have to delete this nigga out our computer. We got to delete his ass out our soul. He's not physically in our neighborhoods killing us. in our soul, like the Matrix. I always say the Mr. Smith effect. If you watch the Matrix, Mr. Smith, the white man with the suit, he don't be there. Somebody turn into this motherfucker and start fighting Neo. White people, black people have been infected with Mr. Smith, aka the white man, and we turn into this nigga every day and oppress ourselves. We gotta delete the virus. If the white man died today, he's still gonna be alive. Niggas still gonna eat pork. They still gonna go to the club. They still gonna listen to Young Thug, even though they know he gay. They still gonna call each other bitch. Black women still gonna be, yeah, I'm beautiful. You still gonna be going to the Asians for weed. You black men, we still gonna be killing each other over gangs because a white man is not in front of your face. This nigga has put himself in your motherfucking soul. So until we get him out of our soul, it don't matter what you say to a person. They have to delete him out their soul themselves. That's why they don't want to hear it, because this nigga living inside of them.
All right, Pharoah. Let's let the sister. Melanin is on the phone right now.
Okay, yeah. The number one thing I'm hearing is people once again misinterpreting what I'm saying or not fully comprehending.
Melanin, let her ask you again, so that way you can hear it clear.
No, I heard her. She said pretty much, why do I have a problem with the black man referring to the black woman or teaching that the black woman is God? Now, we're not looking at this from a psychological perspective, okay? Now, when we listen to the teacher, because me and you go way back on this subject matter, because Natural Tahuti was the original soldier on the front line that the black woman is God.
That's right.
And I had my own sidebar conversations with Tahuti. Nobody broke it down like Natural Tahuti. Tahuti is the one who had built my self-esteem. But when I was going through these phases of feeling like throughout my whole life, I was worshiping a man because, we all come from Christianity or Muslim or whatever indoctrination. I felt betrayed that my image was suppressed. So with the teachings that the black man is a degenerate, a lot of women start to develop directly or indirectly a feministic mindset. Like, why do I need a man if I can do it all by myself? I started to look at black men like, wow, they really degenerate and their ovaries descended. We're not sitting down talking to these women who are so immersed from hurt and taking the black woman as God to literally use it as a tool to cause division and not unify with the black man because she see him as beneath him. Now, some women may take it in stride, and some women can be pushed into a feministic mindset, because we have to talk about how does this information affect a woman who comes into consciousness and realize that she wasn't even on the throne or beside the man or personified as a god. We're not talking about these things. And that's what I was trying to tell to Natural Tahuti. You have to be careful to give certain information to certain people that are coming into new information that has past hurts, pains, and perceptions, and how they are going to use this information. Now, people can use it for good, and people can also use this information for bad. You can't tell me that this idealism doesn't invoke lesbianism and homosexuality. Now, if we're telling a man to all the woman is God, people tend to imitate God. So is it wrong if a man wants to take it up a notch and want to be a trans woman, wants to be a homosexual, wants to be a drag queen in the honor of his right? Listen, because some trans men are not having sexual intercourse with men. They still are attracted to women, but they feel that they was born a woman. But they're still, I guess, heterosexual. So we're not getting into the components of how certain imitations or emulations of how things are being put out there, how people are interpreting it and embracing it and implementing it into their own life. I said it's important that we uplift the black woman and the black man. We already in society, the world is degrading us both and putting us up against each other, making the black woman look like a whore, making the black man look suspect for homosexuality, broke, ignorant. So what I'm saying is that at this crucial time, we need to avere each other, because that's what black family represents. It represents the unity of the man and woman and not looking at us as competition. I feel that we're not factoring in the negative aspects of what this teaching can do to a hurt woman who has been hurt by either a black man or the male species. It can create.
Melanin, don't you think right now at this time in age right now that we are in, that the teachings of the black woman is God could really try to wipe out some of the negative connotations that y'all got already? Y'all are being called a bitch. You got black women calling themselves a bitch. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a fine bitch.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're being called hoes. You're being called dogs. So how bad can a teaching like the black woman is God, how can that do anything worse than being called a bitch? I don't understand it, Doc.
No, I'm not saying, once again, misinterpretation. I'm not saying there's something wrong with the teaching. What I'm saying is that why at the same time we cannot teach that the black man and woman is God and just promote the black family. That's what my premise is. Why we got to make one feel superior when we're both equally from white supremacy and brainwashing, both low self-esteem.
Melanin, are you
Come on now.
Are you equal to your mother?
Yes, I am.
Is my daughter equal to me?
No.
Is my daughter
because you are a man and she's a woman. We have a, sorry.
I meant to say, is my daughter equal to her mother? Is my son equal to his mother?
Yes, we are all equal to our parents because we all will go into adulthood, correct? And we will have offspring of ourselves, making us mothers and fathers as well.
Melanin, is my daughter above her mother? Is my son above her mother? You can't put yourself above your mother. That's the one that pushed you out. That's the one that brought you into the universe. You come out of heaven into the universe. You see?
I'm not saying I'm above my mother. I'm saying I'm equal to my mother. When I become of age and I hit puberty, I'm also able to reproduce and become a mother myself. So right now, as much as she's a mother to me, I'm a mother right now as well. So we're both on the same playing field. We just have different tactics on ideologies on how she raised me and how I'm raising my child. I'm not saying that teaching a black woman is God is a problem. I'm just saying that because we're both low self-esteem, and this is prevalent, and we can see this when we walk outside, that it is important not just to put one person's self-esteem ahead of another person. We need to also realize what black men are going through, and we need to uplift them as well. Now, when people say nobody had a problem when we was worshiping man, nobody was worshiping a black man. We was worshiping white Jesus or Arab God Allah. So when did the black man have an opportunity to reign as God here in America? We was colonialized. We was all worshiping a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. That had nothing to do with the black man. Come on.
I want to see you fight just as hard when you see them brothers over there on 127th Street, 126th Street, every month. They crowd up the stadium in there, the school, Harriet Tubman School, and they say that the black man is God. I don't see no women over there fighting them against that. You ain't no God. How you going to say you God? How you putting yourself, Melanin, I don't see you doing that, baby.
No, I didn't. Well, I don't know what their teachings are, and I haven't been over there to say to fight against them.
No, Melanin, you know the 5% Nation is over there. Everybody.
Oh, yeah, well, the 5% Nation, well, that's their teaching. That's what they subscribe to. My whole thing is we're focusing on the conscious community, which is a spiritual system of our own personal beliefs, all right? And we come together and we express it. I'm focusing on what the conscious community is about. I cannot change a person who's in a religious institute on changing their mind. That's something that they're going to have to grow and come out of. Our focus is the perception of what we believe in the conscious community. What is our belief system? What is our ideology? We have people who are Nuwabians or want to be Nuwabians, Scientologists, Christians. I mean, we don't have a particular layout when we say we are the conscious community of what we believe in. We have a bunch of people that has their own study, practice, and belief in what they're comfortable in, and they're sharing it with the people. And if the people like the information and they're comfortable with it and it makes them feel good, that's what they're going to go with. So let's be real here. I don't want to sit here and look at my black man and say he's a degenerate woman. How that's going to turn me on? When I see, if I'm developing a mindset that you are beneath me, that I only created you to be some type of servant or something. No,
Let the sister
People,
talk.
women that are ego tripping is because they've been hurt.
Melanin.
So they want brothers to put them on a pedestal.
Melanin, let the sister
Put your man on a pedestal too.
Let the sister get it in. Go ahead, sis.
I'm sorry.
The men who are saying, no, it's okay. The men who are saying that the black woman is God, I don't think they feel that they're a degenerate or anything like that. I think those men are secure within themselves and, you know, they exalt her. I don't think they feel any type of way.
Saying, love
you know what I'm saying?
We love
yes,
you.
That's what.
Well, that's these brothers' perception, sister.
I think it promotes, you know, greatness in black women because I can attest to, for me, that promoted a lot of things in me. Just being called a God, you know what I'm saying? So, and it doesn't make me look down on my black man. It makes me say he's God as well. And I've noticed black men, and I see the God in them. And I see everything that they're doing. You know, I don't look down on him at all, you know?
But that's the way you interpret the information, correct?
Right, but Melanin,
but I don't think...
I mean, that's how it applies in her life. I'm not saying y'all don't love the black woman. What I'm saying is that everybody digests information different. There is a lot of brothers that are not comfortable or do not want to be promoted as a degenerate woman. You don't think that hurts their feeling and self-esteem to feel like they are a birth defect?
No, because...
Well, that's you. You can't say no. Say me as Pharaoh, I say no. But every brother say they comfortable with that.
Can I give you my perspective from a man who is telling people that we are 2.8% weaker manifestations of the X chromosome? How, when you have a certain level of knowledge, and people can talk all the shit they want about spirituality, but it is the first level of existence. When you have a certain level of knowledge, then you have a certain understanding on your spirit self. I understand that I am not this body. This is just a body that I am inhabiting for a certain amount of time, and this body came from its original self, which is a female. So I, which is a piece of the Creator, the solar self, cannot be a degenerate female because this body is from a degenerate female, but I am the user of this body. So the problem with black people is we are not of this physical plane, and we keep trying to find ourselves on this physical plane, and that is how you get caught in the ego. The ego exists here. The spirit is the controller of here. Now, me as what you would call a black man while in this body, I am not insecure about where this body came from because I know it came from the most powerful body on the planet, a black woman. So anybody who possesses a supreme amount of intelligence as well as spirituality will never be insecure in the fact that they are in this body because they know it came from the perfect, most beautifulest, and number one body on a goddamn planet.
Still there, Melly Mel?
Yeah, I'm still there. I was letting the brother talk. Right, once again, that's his interpretation of how he absorbed this.
We're going to go to the phone lines. Thank you, my sister, for calling in, sis.
All
right, thank you. All right. Peace of Black Power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. What's happening?
Great. This is Ascender Dean. I just called in not too long ago, but my phone got cut off. I apologize. But first and foremost, just to the panel, Sister Sutek, Melanin Sutek, bringing up some fabulous points. It's just from a masculine pregnant, as it relates to the logic that she's bringing alongside with her emotion, I don't think she's led astray at all from her rationale. And young Pharoah, I also understand where he's coming from the space of spirituality, which is absolutely not pseudo at all. Being another young God within this young rationale, we already know that we're perceived through a different stigma as it relates to what we bring forward and bring you, which sometimes the older generation never to knock them or to undermine their wisdom that they do help us carry that torch with. But we come with a whole different rationale that sometimes is led to the sideline or pushed away. But just to keep on top of what y'all talking about, I have a question for both Melanin Sutek and young Pharoah, because we could talk about these things as it relates to what has transpired through time, how we've come to this present point in time. However, I want to know for vice versa, for Melanin Sutek towards Pharoah and vice versa, what do you see in one another's doctrine that is the most empowering? What do you fully agree with that you could combine with your own viewpoint so that we could move forward, or that we could collaborate and see harmony in our, differences and views?
Well, I can keep mine short and simple. I embrace the Holy Trinity, which is man, woman, and child, flat out. If we're not focusing on that, then we already have failed. Because our job is not to create competition. Whether if we feel it's good or bad, whether we feel it's good or bad, we need to look at the circumstances that we're in and what we need to be reinforcing in ourselves and our community. So it's essential that we put the Black family back on the throne and embrace that and move forward. Other things is not needed to be said, because as they stated earlier about the worship of man, these are religious institutions. My focus is we don't have no sound, solid ideology as the conscious community. I can't come into a religious institution and change their doctrine. That's up to them if they want to change their mind. My focus is, as a conscious community, we need to really solidify what is ideology, or we're going to always be conflicted and divided because our differences in opinion and belief. So I just say the focus should be man, woman, child. That's where unity starts, the Black family.
Go ahead, Brother Pharoah.
All right, brother. What I get out of the meta nature is we know that the three wisdoms that our ancestors taught primarily at that point in time, and what we can conceptualize as Egypt or Kemet, is alchemy, astrology, and I believe I'm saying the word correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but theurgy. Alchemy is turning lead into gold, aka turning a dull spirit into a vibrant spirit through the cultivation of the chakras. Astrology is the interaction of celestial bodies with us, and theurgy is the rituals or sequences which invoke the first two. Our ancestors used this use those three. After those three sciences, you mastered the universe. So my most important teaching that I would take from the meta nature would be those three teachings: alchemy, cultivating myself spiritually and learning how to become a pure entity on this realm; astrology, learning where I am exactly in the universe, what the actual day, time, and second and hour actually is, and how the planets around me are affecting me; and rituals. What can I do on a daily basis to be in harmony with the first two actions? That is the first and most primary teaching to me from the ancestor, because by me making myself a better person, I by default make the people around me and my environment better. So from that, I take that the ancestors, by saying simply know thyself, is by cultivating ourselves, we change the world. We don't change the world by changing which is external. We change the world by changing that which is internal. So I take those three teachings, the three secret wisdom.
All right, thank you, my brother. You finished? Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for calling in.
No
We're
problem.
going to move forward to the next caller.
Well, I just have one more. Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
Quick, fast, easy, fast. All right. Well, for Young Star, I just want to know, my brother, I love where you coming from. I love the sparkler influence, you know what I'm saying? Because you on the right, dynamic, the right type of frequency. However, I want to know, when you speak on chakras and you speak on the triple layers of blackness, even if you will, we say the same thing, but just in a different fashion. But when you talk about these three layers of being able to cultivate self in a way that will be able to influence a change that we want to see immediately, but we understand that things take a process. You know what I mean? What they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, but we don't give a damn about Rome, but you understand the analogy. But we understand things take a process. So what do you apply to cultivate these things that you admire about the Melanin, that you admire about what you just explained through those three layers of cultivation internally that could express itself externally?
Like I said, I'm not going to never say what I'm doing on this damn recorded line. So what I will say is I fight. Why? because you don't realize something is wrong until you realize what is right. Once we understand the teachings of our ancestors, then by default we understand, oh shit, the Caucasian has constructed a reality to where I can't even practice those teachings. So now once we understand this as an alleged conscious community, we understand this, it's only two things we do. We ask for the environment to express ourselves, or we demand it by taking it by power and force. So me personally, without speaking on anybody and saying, oh, I'm going to start a movement or none of that, I do individual things in my life every day that we can just use the word fight to force my environment to be conductive to what the fuck I want to do. If the meta nature say spiritually cultivate myself and I want to go outside and meditate and there's 20 motherfuckers selling drugs, you motherfuckers got to go up the street. I'm about to change the environment. If the meta nature say the black woman, the unk is the key of life and it's symbolic to the womb, and I want to respect the black woman, if my TV is talking about the black woman is a bitch, it's getting cut off. So, and we can go into me and the Caucasian personally, but we ain't going there. So now, like I said, I fight and I force the change for righteousness. That's all we need to be doing is forcing the change. We don't need to be asking for shit, signing no documents. We need to be forcing it. Our ancestors said this. Nature said this. If the environment has been perverted by the Caucasians to not allow this, then we got to go to war over allowing what the fuck the ancestors and the creator have said. So me personally, I participate in that war. Whether anybody helps me, if no one helps me, then the effect I'm going to cause is going to be very little. But if black people wake up and get some heart and they help me, then the effect and the cause is going to be very big. But without anyone helping me, I do what I can, and I sacrifice and put myself on the line for the ways that I am able in order to make sure that I am able to express the will of our ancestors and the creator.
Thank you. All right, thank you, my brother. We want to move forward now and get the next caller. Thanks for calling in, my man. All right.
No problem.
All right.
You gotta be me.
Relax, man. Peace and black power. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Oh, it's the same person now. Hold on.
What's happening? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Islam. This is Prince Azil Abdullah.
Black Power Abdullah. What's up, man?
Black Power.
Get the fuck out of here. Hold the fuck up. Hold up, man. I just got me a Muslim saying Black Power to me. That's what's up, my brother. I just caught me a war. Brother. Man, that's what's up. Islam to you, my brother. What's happening?
Islam.
Yes, sir. What's up?
First, let me make a statement, and I have a couple of questions for the sister and the brother. Is that possible that I could ask these two questions?
Go ahead, my
brother. Right on. First, I would like to make a statement that the black man is God and the black woman is earth. Okay? Now, according to the stats, right, the black people lead in the rate of homosexuality. And I find it quite disturbing that this young brother is promoting this homosexuality with this black woman as God. There is a correlation between this homosexuality amongst the black people and this ideology that's being propagated by niggas, punk-ass niggas, in the black community. And I would like for the people on your panel to respond.
Let me respond. All right, let me respond right now.
You long, no, brother, you long with it. So I'm short and sweet.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Brother, I totally understand what you're saying because once again, if we look at the deficit of the black community, it's an abundance of feminine energy, and the masculine energy, presence and protection is obsolete. So people want to say we need to uplift the woman as by these. The black woman in this current state has more power than the black man. So if she is divinely superior, and right now she is in control, why are we in this deficit that we're in right now? why are our children being turned out like there's no tomorrow? Now, the degenerate black male that we speak of, right, is nowhere to be found in the home. All of these children are being raised by God. So people want to say, oh, she's colonialized, she's brainwashed. How was God able to be brainwashed and manipulated by a recessive being called the white man? And why did the prototype that she made, the black man, which is supposed to be her protector, the first birth defect on the planet, why wasn't he strong enough to combat her enemy so she could stay in her natural divinity? Now you can go ahead and answer.
Okay, there you go. Let me say this before my brother Pharoah get on. My dear brother, the teachings of the black man is God and the black woman is the earth, that teaching is starting to fade out, my brother. Because the black man has been God for decades. And where the hell did that get us? So now that we are saying that the black woman is God, when I see my mama, I'm looking at God in the flesh, in the person, when I look in the face of my mother. That is my God. That is the titty that kept me alive when I was a baby. Not no Negro. You see what I'm saying? So now I think that by us keep on revering and going to the black man as God and putting the black man on the goddamn pedestal, I think that is more homosexual in any goddamn thing. Where's the goddamn woman on the panel? Where's the sister on the podium? See, in ancient times in Kemet, we always had the black woman up on the podium, side by side with us. Sometimes her ass be sitting on the throne by herself. You see? So, brother, I think that's more of a homosexual teaching nowadays because we got to put our black woman on top. When she is right, she teaches the babies. When she teaches the babies, it goes down. It's a trickle effect. You see, the black man is not teaching the baby. It is that black woman who is teaching my sister Melanin is homeschooling her child right now. Right now. And if all black women was homeschooling their child the way it used to be in the beginning, so shall it be in the ending. It's going to get back to that again now. You see? So it's that black woman who got to get us back on our fucking square. Not the black man. His fucking ego too big. He's too busy fighting each other. So it is that black woman who is going to shape and mold the mind of our babies today, and that is how we can begin to change our situation. Go ahead, Brother Pharoah.
All right, now before I answer the brother on the phone, I want to answer the queen question real fast. As I keep saying, you said basically long story short, if the black man is so great and da, why wasn't he able to stop certain atrocities that took place?
No, I didn't say, wait, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say if the black man was so great. I'm saying if the black woman designed the black man to be her protector, obviously he didn't fail. She put some default in him because that is her creator. So why did she make a default prototype to protect her against the white man?
Okay, now to answer your question, simple as possible without staying on the subject. If you are not open to the existence or the fact that this planet is being ran by an entity that is more intelligent than you, aka an extraterrestrial, then I cannot answer that question for you if you don't understand that there are beings that are way more smarter than me and you and know how to manipulate our realities to get us to do what they want us to do. So if you don't
let me ask you this. Is extraterrestrials more powerful than the black woman that is God? She got manipulated by extraterrestrials.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that the extraterrestrial is more. Let me answer the question.
What
I said it's more smarter than you. I said it's more smarter than you. I didn't say it's more powerful than a black woman. If the extraterrestrial, which is working with the 13 royal bloodline families, didn't fear the power of the black race, then its main agenda wouldn't be to keep knowledge itself and the power of the black race from the black race. The entity knows who you are. You just don't know who you are, because at this point in time,
how did I lose who I am? But how did I use who I am? Now, this is not for me. I'm talking about the black woman in antiquity who was in her right mind, correct? So how did the black woman that was in her right mind and in her divinity, as she didn't degenerate, how did she allow extraterrestrials to manipulate her so she can degenerate and evolve?
Multiple reasons here. But without turning this into that, so I could answer the Muslim brother, I'm gonna give you the main one.
Okay. Sorry.
We were at a certain position within the galaxy where we were being affected by certain frequencies of constellations. By us moving out of a certain part of the galaxy, we lost certain abilities. We lost certain capacities, and we were able to be taken advantage of. That is why the Aquarian age is so important, is because these abilities and capacities are now returning, and our full abilities are returning, and we will no longer be able to be taken advantage of. So for the last 6,000 years, we were not at our full power because we were not at a part or location within the galaxy that was favorable to us as far as the prominences being emitted by celestial bodies. So it all had to do with where we were positioned in the universe. It's like if you take a fish out of water, it's not at its full power. When you had black people out of a certain part of the celestial dome, we were not at our full power. So we were literally taken advantage of. So now, answering the Muslim brother, you saying that I'm preaching a doctrine that's homosexual, what I would have to say to you is, first and foremost, our ancestors preached this doctrine, right? Correct? And we understand that you can't find any homosexual African art or artifacts. But the Caucasian preaches your doctrine, which is patrilineal or just man first, and he has all the homosexual historical artifacts to back it up. Now, why is this important? The black man did not become. I'm gonna stick with today's day and time. In today's day and time, after slavery, the black man is at his highest level of homosexuality. Why? Because he has spiritually been infringed upon by the number one homosexual on the planet, the Caucasian. Now I'm going to prove my point. When you get on your knees and pray, you are submitting. What is submission? When you give another entity power over you. So now I don't care if you pray to your damn TV. What you're saying is that the TV has the ability to change a circumstance that you cannot. So you give the TV the power and authority over you in this particular part. So when you pray to a God, a man God, as a man, you are spiritually submitting to a man. So when you look at homosexuality in the black man, it is a statistical fact that Christians have the highest level of homosexuality. And what do? They pray to a man. They submit to a man. A man goes home and says, "Dear God, can you, Jesus, change my life?" You submit to a man on a spiritual realm, and you manifest these tendencies, as well as homosexuality being an imbalance within the chakras, within the 13 and 14 vertebrae. I'm not going to go into that, but the basic ideology of homosexuality starts within the subconscious, because the subconscious governs 70 to 85% of what you do. Subconsciously, you give a man precedence over you, and you submit to him spiritually, and some people submit to him physically. Under European doctrine and patrilineal teachings, the black man has been at his most homosexual. When our ancestors were teaching that the black woman was our predecessor and put her first, show me a homosexual statue in Egypt and I'll rock with you. Show me homosexuality. Even if I'm willing to go out on a limb and say, even if it did exist, it was never at the rate that it exists today under a patrilineal system. So we can use statistics to show that when black man puts man first, he's gayer. When black man puts black woman first, he's not gay. Why? Because I understand that I am not a black woman just by putting the black woman first and studying her foundation. So I have a solid foundation in my mind that I don't want to be her. I want to uplift her. When I hate my black woman and I teach that she has no place within the Holy Trinity, or that my spiritual savior is a man, and I don't like my black woman and I belittle my black woman, most people that hate on people try to do what? They want to be just like them. These black men hate the black woman so much that they don't understand that they're pushing the feminine energy out of their life, and then they themselves try to manifest the feminine energy to make up for what they've been pushing out themselves. So you can worship a man all you want, but deal with them homo statistics. You can say I'm teaching homo statistics, but
may I ask you a question? Wait, let me ask Pharoah, because this is a touchy topic. We're covering homosexuality. Now, when we listen to the testimonials of homosexual men, the first person they honor is their mama. And that's the reason for them being so effeminate and being homosexual.
That's not true. Stop it, Maya.
Yes, it is. I listened to many stories of them saying that they was imitating their mother and their father was not present. So if I play devil's advocate, if we could sit here and say that homosexuality from just worshiping a male god is a homosexuality paradigm, the same thing rings true to if we're just going to worship the female aspect and then exempt the male perspective. When in nature and all existence, natural and divine law is man and woman. So we can say the same and don't put the man next to her. It's going to create an imbalance.
I'm not saying don't put the man next to her.
In Africa, they worship man and woman. Each deity was a woman or a man. Each elemental attribute.
All right, come on now. Check this out.
Sorry.
I'm winding down. Hold on, Pharoah. I'm winding down. I want to be able to get as much as I can. So that means y'all going to have to, like, stick and move. Answer the questions and move. Because I'm leaving at 7 o'clock. I got to get ready to be out of here. So.
Hey, Son, let me ask a question, Son Meadow.
Yo, man, Mr. Roy Bay.
Didn't know I was on the line, right?
No, you're on Melanin line. You're on Melanin line. I heard you earlier. But I want you to hold on. Let me get this guest right quick because I just opened up the line. And you next.
All right.
Peace and Black Power. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's happening? You next. What's going on? 678 number.
Hello?
Yes. How you doing? What's happening?
Hi. It's not really a question, but it's like I just want to speak on the lady Melanin, and she was saying about how I guess it's wrong for him to put the black woman on a pedestal, and he just explained about how when you speak, you're creating a frequency which is being transmitted, just like our music. You know that our melanin takes music through our spirit, through our flesh, through everything, because we absorb energy. And you know that music and sound is nothing but energy or radio waves, as Pharoah has already said. So it's just by him speaking, the black woman is God. He's emitting frequencies to black women. Particularly, he's done it for me. So I can speak on that. Just by hearing that, it makes you smile. It makes you feel better. So therefore, the woman, he has to put her on the throne because she's the mother of all civilization. We created this. And when we fell from grace, the man fell from grace. So now in order to restore us, in order for us to get back right, we have to put the woman first and get her back right. Because that's like any man. No, when your girl mad, you at home, she mad at you, she ain't cooking, she ain't washing, the kids a mess, the house a mess, everything is just chaos. But when your girl happy, you at home, the house clean, ready, all of that, because she happy. So the woman ain't happy on earth right now, so that's why so much of chaos going on. But once we get her back right, then we got everybody else back right. So I think that I just want to praise him for focusing on it, and all the haters, y'all just not in tune. Like, you ain't even on that understand. You can't understand what he's saying because you're not there. And he can't save everyone. He hasn't saved the world complex. You can't save everyone, Pharoah. Some of these people are just so freaking lost that I just encourage you that you do all the time, and people don't know the things you do on the outside, is to keep encouraging the basics. And that's who we need to focus on. It's like you can't focus on that lost, grown-ass person. Keep trying to push it in their head. It's over for them. I just would like to focus on the children because that's the future, and teaching our princesses that they are queens and that they're a god. They're going to hold themselves to higher standards. The men are going to have to do nothing but conform and hold themselves to a higher standard. So.
Now, wait. Before the sister girls, I want to ask you, are you a mother?
Yes.
Do you homeschool?
Kind of. I mean, I'm trying to...
No. Do you homeschool?
Yes, she homeschool.
No, before we say who's lost, let's really evaluate who's lost. No. I'm not gonna take indirect insults saying you can't say the wrong. I'm saying you go into my page and see the divine intellect of my child. No, I'm not saying I have a problem with the black man. Once again, y'all have selective hearing. I don't have a problem with the black man teaching that the black woman is God. All I'm saying is that we have to do it both ways. If we're going to make the black woman a god, we're going to have to make the black woman is God. The black man is God. You're saying because what he says makes you feel good, so you're looking for feel good. In order for you to be a woman, it's how you live your life. You don't need a man to sit there and say, oh, you're God or you anything else. Because my grandparents been married for eons, and he never had to call my great-grandmother or my grandmother a God to show how much he loves us. No, but you're saying, oh, he calls me God, it feels good. You're looking for a feel good, and that's the number one problem within the black community. We keep looking for feel good, so we will disassociate ourselves from facts. And you don't think it's not important? Let me ask you this. You don't think it's not important for our black men for us to revere him and call him God? Is he not suffering from low self-esteem as much as we are? Black men need to hear that they are God too.
We know we God. We know.
No, you don't. Not every black man know that they God. So let's stop it. Just like you said, every woman don't know that they are God. Not every black man know that they are God.
If every black woman knew.
No, people are looking for feel good, and that's the problem with
they're not. No, they're
yes,
not.
you are. You looking for a feel good? You just said he made me smiling. You just say he made you feel good, so you're looking for feel good because you have past hurt and from what you have experienced from black men.
All right, there we
A
go.
black man, all he needs to do is love you, take care of you, and protect you. That's all we want at the end of the day.
All right.
Yeah, but you're putting
Come on now.
Teaching is like promote. First of all, promote homosexuality. That's just retarded to say that. And then you're saying that like
I didn't say that. I'm saying what I said. I did not say it promotes homosexuality. What I'm saying is that if we're going to say that the worship of a man creates homosexuality, I said I could play devil's advocate by saying if we only avere the woman, that it will create that same imbalance with the action of the man, which can invoke homosexuality more so lesbianism.
No, it's not, because the woman is the creator.
How you going to say no, it's not? A lot of these black boys are homosexual because of the absence of their father, and their mother's the only image and role model that they have, and they mimic her through homosexuality or being effeminate. They are mimicking the God.
They are mimicking the Caucasian who thought that the black woman wasn't
no,
shit.
They're raised by the black mother who is God.
Down. That's who they're mimicking. They're mimicking the Caucasian who thought that the black woman ain't shit and changed us up and raped us in front of the female. That is why black men are homosexuality. If the Caucasian would have never been created, we would still be in Africa stealing the hands, and we would be loving our black woman. We wouldn't be over here talking about some Christianity.
Who created the white man? Who created the white man?
Do you understand that extraterrestrials exist?
Here we go with extraterrestrials.
Okay, just don't ask the question you don't want the answer to. If you want to know where the white man came from, and I'm finna tell you and you don't believe me, then don't ask the question.
Round, because then we don't know if we're supposed to be fighting the white man or we're supposed to be fighting these people.
How about that? How about take your ass to Europe and go pop Queen Elizabeth in the head?
So you sending your woman out to fight now, right? So you told me you're a warrior. Oh,
you never heard of Queen Zinga? You never heard of Queen Zinga? You never heard of Harriet Tubman? Do you know how much we both have to do it? Because that's
when a woman fights, it's because she has no choice to. She's the second line of defense. Until all black men are no longer in existence, that's when the black woman goes to.
So you never heard of Queen Candace? You never heard of Queen Candace? You never heard of Queen Candace? So you never heard of Queen Candace? You never heard of Queen Candace?
All right, yo, let's go. That's it.
All right, so now hold on, stop.
You don't have a man.
Nah, man, that's enough.
Stop, make my question then, brother.
Well, come on, let's get your question in.
Listen, first of all, so I definitely give honors to my brother Pharoah. He's an extremely intelligent individual. And I also give high honors to Sister Melanin Sutek. She's probably one of the first females to take on one of the brothers in the conscious community in this capacity. And she did it all by herself, because the young brother Pharoah is definitely a heavy hitter out here. But I also must say she handled all the callers very intelligently
And a lot of the females who was trying to contend with her in disagreement, and they accepted this concept of the black woman being God, I like to add, most of the females, I'm for more than sure at least one of them are a Christian. So if they can accept that the black woman is God, where does that put her and her relationship with her so-called Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ? But Brother Pharoah, I do have a question for you, brother, because you know in the conscious community, there are a lot of people who are atheists. No kind of God concept. In fact, the host of the show, Brother Sinetta, is one of them. He don't believe in God or the... Hold on, I know, Sinetta don't believe in God or the devil.
But
so,
in the context that Brother Pharoah is talking about...
No, Si, we ain't doing that, Sinetta. No, Sinetta, we ain't doing that, brother.
I'm telling you.
Come on, the context...
I know he ain't dealing with no spooky God up in the sky like what y'all believe in. So I know what
Let me finish this, brother.
About. I know what Polite is talking about when he say God. I know what they talking about, brother. So go ahead, try again,
All right. Well, again, so as I was going to state, there are different concepts of God. There's a religious God, and I think Brother Pharoah is trying to point us to a scientific God or something unseen, as he calls entities in the world. Now, Brother Pharoah, when you are saying that the black woman is God, does that put you in stark contradiction to the laws of Ma'at, where justice, equality, and balance is concerned? Because where there's left is right, where there's east is west. It almost sounds like you're speaking very strongly from one perspective, but your statement does not carry a balance in reference to the laws of Ma'at. Could you please explain to me, brother, where your statement is connecting? Because if the black woman is God, where does that put the so-called black male?
Okay, now, I would like to say that I don't even like to say I'm teaching. I like to say I'm reminding. My reminder to black people is directly in accordance, my brother, with the laws of Ma'at, because like you said, justice, equality, and order. Ma'at is what? Long story short, law and order. What law and order? Nature. How can you be justice? How can you be in a justice and equality and order of nature if you don't even understand that the black woman comes first from you and you're second in that order? You can't be following Ma'at if you cannot accept in your heart that the black woman preceded you. So that is number one. Number two, once you understand that, then you can live according to the nature of this planet. Because what black people have done, let me tell you what black people have done, not even get off subject, and I'm going to hurry up real fast. I know Sinetta got to go. The black man is stuck on a Caucasian's understanding of reality, and you keep trying to prove who you are through who the fuck the Caucasian is and what he understands this realm to be. Different suns and different solar systems have different frequencies, and light travels at different speeds other than the one in this one. So if I have a sun that's 5 times the size of ours, that means I would have to take 186,000 miles per second, which is the speed of our sunlight, and multiply it by 5. I would have to take the terahertz of the electromagnetic spectrum and multiply it by 5. This would actually create an entire different reality and physical realm as we know it. So we, on this realm, keep trying to compare the universe and boggle it to what we understand, when if you go to another solar system, there's an entirely different understanding. So on planet Earth, the black woman is first, and she is the generator, organizer, and dispenser of humanoid life on this reality, and she is God. But the atoms and molecules in another galaxy are regulated by a different law determined by the size of their sun, and the God or main humanoid or entity on that planet will be governed by a different physical law. So we have to stop being trapped in reality as we know it, in the continent as we know it. When you come to planet Earth, wherever the fuck you come from, on this planet, the number one deity is God. If you take your ass to another star system with a sun that's 1 billion times our size and everything over there is more dense and bigger, then there's a different deity over there that is the number one humanoid entity. But when we speak about Earth and the law order of Earth, we know that the black woman is first, and if you don't put her first, then you are out of order with Melanin, which is an ancient language on this planet.
Hey, Brother Pharoah, before I go or before you go? Hold on, 2 seconds. I'm out of 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Pharoah, hold on, 2 seconds.
line. Peace and black
Oh,
power. What's your name?
man.
Where you calling from? Peace. What's happening?
He ain't dead, sir. He ain't dead.
678. 678. What's up? Talk to me. All right.
All right, they ain't dead, son. They ain't dead. Let me get my question on. Hey, listen, Brother Pharoah. So I definitely appreciate you, young brother. The only thing that I want you to do for me before you go is, since the black woman is God, so can you please give high honor to the sister who took you on tonight? Because you know she gave you a run for your money, and she had the knowledge to stand on her square. So give her high honors, brother, right now in the air.
Brother, I was going to do that regardless, but I want to come.
All right.
I wasn't going to say that she took me on, because that's my queen. That's my, in my eyes, that's God. Whether depending on our understanding, but I love her regardless.